Michelle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 896 of the Video Game Outsiders podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle Madison.
And I, of course, am your John Jacobson. Now, Michelle, we have another guest host tonight.
That's right. Another
Zoltan,
professional.
a guy with pipes and equipment.
A degree in communications, a video producer and technical trainer. He's going to put us to shame being the professional of the group.
You're an actual voiceover guy.
Well, let's not get carried away. Let's not, I am a professional, but a professional what? I'm not sure.
Not too professional enough to join us, because we're going to have a good time tonight. We got a lot of big games to talk about, a lot of good news going on. Potentially a Steam Deck VR headset for your face. Zoltan was telling us before we started the show.
Steve at Gamers Nexus was talking about that this week.
Well, that's been speculation for a while anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a natural step here with the Steam Deck, right? To put that thing in goggles.
I don't know. I just want a Steam Deck too. I don't know.
It feels like a no-brainer to me.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, John, you wanted to switch to your face. Remember that too? You're like, switch to, you're going to strap to your face. I don't know why you want to strap stuff to your face.
Remember they did the cardboard Switch VR thing, remember?
Yeah.
Are you guys excited about this Assassin's Creed thing? Do you guys play those games?
I wasn't.
I know Matt was a big Assassin's Creed guy.
Yeah, next week we have a big roundtable with Matt. Bradford will be back. He's the Assassin's Creed guy. John, you're like me, right? You haven't liked one since like Assassin's Creed 2?
Or Black Flag, yeah.
Okay.
But
check it out. I love starting these games, these Assassin's Creed games.
But not finishing.
Of course. Well, I like starting a lot of games, to be honest.
I don't think I've ever finished a single Assassin's Creed game, but I've started every single one of them.
Now, the reviews I've been seeing all day, IGN gave it an 8. Eurogamer says majestic in scope, impressive in detail.
Wow. They run that through an AI thing first, or ChatGPT?
So it's getting 8s, 9s, some 7s, some 4s.
From the critics who got early review copies, who have an incentive to give positive reviews. The truth will come next week, because we're going to get like the full from Matt, an Assassin's Creed fan. Is it good? How does it stand up if you're an Assassin's Creed fan? And does it bring new people, I would call me, to the Assassin's Creed world? Because I've kind of lost interest in the games, John. Like, they're repetitive to me. They're a little bit of the same thing over and over. I don't feel like they ever feel like they're bringing anything new to the table. It's like, oh, this feels like a game from 15 years ago. So will it bring people like me back into the fold? And how will Matt
I mean, don't you think that's why people play those games, though? Is because they are the same?
It's comfortable. You don't have to learn anything new. You don't have to be challenged. I think that could be it. It's comfort
initially, the first few games, sure. But now we're like 15 years into this.
Yeah, but some people like that. I mean, my sister is looking forward to it. She's played all of them, and she's more of a casual gamer. Like, so she's like, oh, I can't wait for the next one, the next one, the next one. She likes that repetition. Whereas for me, I was like, a new Assassin's Creed game again. You know, they kept shitting them out every year at some point. I think I got burned out. So we'll see, though, if this one sort of
I think it's a hard sell. Like, if you've never really liked it, I'm not sure that this new game is going to make you like Assassin's Creed all of a sudden. Either you like Assassin's Creed, at this point,
Wild's biggest launch ever, a lot of new people. Path of Exile 2, huge launch, brought in a lot of new people. Like, sequels can change things up a little bit and get new people. Like, this should be the biggest Assassin's Creed game launch ever. There are more gamers than ever. It's a global launch across console and PC. Like, it should be a hit. So we'll see. I know some people are already playing and installing, but I am excited for next week, though, Zoltan, whatever happens. And it's going to be fun to check in with Matt and all that, too. But
I mean, people are saying this should be the blueprint for the series going forward. So I don't know what they changed.
What that means,
or what's new. I mean, I also saw today that it was the best one since Black Flag, and that's the one that I say was the best one.
Well, you know what? They delayed it, and they said they went back.
That's the one I probably played the most of, John, was the Black Flag. Yeah.
That's fun.
That's true. Old School says make it or break it for Ubisoft. That's right, because we thought they were trying to get the sale out before the game release or whatever. So we'll find out.
Yeah, this is going to be Phil's game anyway, so who cares?
Oh, yeah, Microsoft.
It'll be on Game Pass soon.
I don't know. We don't want them owning everything, although better... Maybe Sony was in talks to maybe buy something else too. I think that might be in the news. But right now we are live on twitch.tv/John and Michelle. We do it every Tuesday from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. If you miss it, you can listen anywhere podcasts are, Spotify, iTunes, whatever. We also have an app on iOS and Android. It'll be back up on Android soon. But just recently, John, we've been starting to add our episodes to Discord because we're joining Pickaxe Podcast Network from Yogscast this week. So the shows may be down a little bit. You might notice some weird stuff in your feeds. It's being worked on.
There might be hiccups.
There might be, but just know we're aware. We're going to be working on it. So we're going to be putting ad-free VGO and our weekly bonus shows now in Discord as part of your your Discord membership. So any of the tier of Discord support gets our weekly bonus shows and ad-free VGO. So it's another option on top of the Libsyn app subscription. But if they want to support us, John, how do they do that? Or wait, Zoltan, you should do this. You're the professional. Go.
Yeah, let me tell you how they do it. They need to go to the website. That's videogameoutsiders.com, and there is a red dripping premium button, okay?
Yep.
You need to click it, lick it, stick it, kick it, do whatever you got to do to go to the next page and go premium.
Well, you have
You're
this
going to get 20 years
I've said
of
it
video
1,000
game
times.
history.
I know. 20 years.
Okay,
That's right. It's $1.99.
$1.99.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Do you know how many hours there are in a single month?
No, because
There's
we do so many-
720 approximately. Okay,
Really?
so
Oh
and
my
how many hours of content you get for $1.99? You could listen to VGO 24 hours a day for almost
Yeah.
3 months.
You could.
Thank
right?
you, Zoltan. You're a good pitch guy. Yeah, because
I don't
we've been
know
doing
how
this-
many other things are that good of a value.
They're not. We didn't have a very good foresight, apparently.
No, we're not very good business people.
We
but
came
like
up with
games and
that price.
podcasting. But yeah, if you want to
So-
support us, you can do so on the app, in Discord. Like I said, I'll be adding those shows, ad-free VGO, and the bonus shows every week. We're probably going to do a PC Outsiders this week, John. So there's some good stuff on there. And thank you, Zoltan.
right.
Thanks for letting me do
Bump.
the ad, guys.
That was good. We'll have to
No problem.
slip you a 50 later. All right, well, let's just jump into
That was
the
fun.
games then. I think we all played a lot.
Yeah.
I think. Oh,
So-
wait, I also have one more thing to say.
Wait, I was
We're giving
supposed to
away-
play games for this? Oh,
No, don't worry about it. You're just here for comfort.
Okay,
So
all right.
I want to also say we are sponsored by cdkeys.com, a good place to save a few bucks on keys for console and PC. And we're giving away Split Fiction for PC this week. Last week was Xbox. This week is PC. And I think next week's we're going to have Assassin's Creed Shadows for Xbox, I believe. So head on down to Discord and thank you, cdkeys.com. You can enter for free. We're also giving away Clix Fortnite Gunner glasses with a Fortnite skin. Now, Clix is a Fortnite Pro, John, okay? And this is a very big deal from Gunnar.
So they say.
That's right. So Gunnar glasses, or as John says, Gunnar. We have a physical goodie to give
Gunnar.
away. You can check those out. They're $75. Come with a skin. They're actually pretty nice looking aviators, I will say. So if you're into that and you want to win, head to our Discord on videogameoutsiders.com. All right. Now we're done. So much to
All right,
say in the
Michelle.
beginning.
All right, let's do our 10-second spotlight. Each of us has 10 seconds to tell the world what we're playing, drinking, whatever. Michelle, what's going on over there?
All right, so I did get to play the Siege X beta, which I was excited to try because
Yeah,
I do
tell
like
me.
Rainbow Six Siege. And I know, John, you've played it for years. Not Siege as much, but the old school Rainbow Sixes
No,
were some
Black
of your
Arrow.
favorite. Yep.
Yeah, early, yes,
Early
online
stuff.
Rainbow
we both
Six.
have a
yes.
history with it, and I
Yes.
kept up with Siege, and I do really like it. So the Siege X beta is interesting because there is a whole new version of Rainbow Six coming, and they let us test out one of the modes, Dual Front. It's 6v6 with respawns, which is weird for Rainbow Six. You can combine attack and
Not
defend
old Rainbow
operators.
Six, but go
Well,
on.
for me it is. I don't like it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm anti-respawn in shooters. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
die, you can choose another operator, just like Overwatch or something. And it's a predetermined, like 26 each season that's going to rotate throughout the year. So it's attack and defend with bombs. There's 3 objective points, a way bigger map, which I think you might like, John. You can move around a lot more. Fire extinguishers blind you.
Camp.
Gas pipes create flames. So basically there is area denial in the map. So it's bigger, but you're going to be able to create area denial. Repelling is better. You can sprint around buildings really fast, allowing you to get around corners. So just that bigger map outside really means something. There's people just hanging around everywhere, even more than usual. The time to kill feels a bit slower, which I don't really like. One shot in the head seems to down people. And then once they're down, you still have to pump a lot of shots into them. Whereas in regular Rainbow Six Siege, it's kind of like one shot shot can kill, but I feel like they want people to not die as fast,
Right.
even though there are respawns, unless the hit reg is just really, really bad in the beta. That's also possible, people are saying. But I think they are slowing down the time to kill, but it's still in like the testing phase. But they
Now,
rated
Michelle,
the sound, the
help
UI,
me
the
out.
graphics, the lighting, the maps, and all that stuff.
Okay, so Siege X.
It's a whole new
is it-
relaunch of the game, John, with a new, because
It's a
basically
sequel. It's a new game.
kind
it's the
of.
same
They don't want to
game,
do a
but
sequel like Overwatch 2
Okay.
thing. It's some of the
Right.
same modes with some new modes. So here's what they're doing. It's going to also mark a change in monetization. So after the update, unranked and quick match will be free, along with this new dual mode or whatever,
Okay.
dual front. But ranked is going to be premium only. Unless you own Siege already, then you're grandfathered in. That's my understanding of it. So if you own Siege now, nothing's going to change for you as far as what you have access to.
But
But
all
if you're
the
a new
maps,
player, it's now free to
operators
play.
are
It's
all
going to
there
be free
still?
to play. Yeah, the operators are all there and everything. Dual Front's going to have like rotating operators and stuff for seasons. But yeah, I know. I think overall, I still prefer normal Siege. I like the attack and defense setup. I like the slower tactical play. I like the faster time to kill. I like no respawns. I like that setup phase. I really do love, like on defense, probably my favorite thing in shooter. But I think that this is going to get in a different type of player that wants that more bigger map, respawns, a lot more going on. So I think it's going to be okay in the end. Like there's going to be more options on how to play Siege.
Now that I think about it, like when we were playing Black Arrow and all that, there were no respawns in that.
Okay. Yeah, it's
because I remember getting up all the time after I died, right?
Right.
And so why not just have both? No respawns.
It seems like they will have both once it launches. And going free to play is going to be interesting as well.
And how's the movement? Is it faster than
the movement feels the same as Siege did. Yeah. Like certain characters move faster than others. And it's also part of the operator kit. But like the biggest thing I noticed, like I said, other than the respawns and the different mode, was just feeling like this map is bigger and there is this area denial you really have to play with. You can't just camp as much because you're moving around to the 3 different bomb points and everything. So I don't know how long until you can try it. It might be over, but if you watched like 30 minutes of it on Twitch, they were giving out beta invites. But there'll probably be another beta. So I don't know, but it's going to be a no-brainer really because it's going to be free to play. Even though Siege has already been like $8 and had free weekends and all that stuff, you don't own Siege by now, you should pick it up because I think if you own it now, you're going to get grandfathered into owning like everything and don't have to be like the premium thing, which is going to be coming later. So
that's good.
Check out Siege X and follow along with it. Because still, Siege is my favorite shooter of the last 10 years, other than PUBG, of course, which was shit, but I still love it. All right, so let's talk about Titan Quest 2. I did get to play the playtest. I love ARPGs. Path of Exile 1 and 2 are some of my favorite games. And by the way, Path of Exile 2 patch is coming in April, so we'll be back talking about that again soon. Sorry, I know that's my Call of Duty I bring up, just like John does. But with Titan Quest 2, John, we both played the original Titan Quest. We actually really liked it. And you could pick it up now for like $3 or $4. It actually holds up. So they're coming out with a new one. And the playtest is sort of what I expected. Like, look, it's not going to look like PoE 2 animation-wise. And it's not going to maybe have the story cinematic presentation of Diablo, but I actually kind of enjoyed what I was doing. Once again, it kind of felt like a game from maybe 20 years ago that I missed or 15 years ago that I missed, but I was still enjoying myself. I really liked the way you leveled up and the way they have the skill system set up. I mean, it doesn't have a huge PoE style like talent tree or anything, but it's sort of enough where it almost feels like Grim Dawnish, which I know was inspired by like the original Titan Quest along with Diablo. So no overlay map that I could see. That was like my biggest complaint. But as far as just having fun with like the setting and the world and the quests and just the ARPG-ness, the loot and the crafting, I think I'm definitely going to pick up Titan Quest 2 when it comes out now. Like, it's not going to be like a replacement for any of the big ones like Last Epoch or anything like that, where you're going to probably want to go back to it every month seasonally. But I feel like playing through story quest or exploring a character, it's kind of off a lot of people's radar. Some of the bigger ARPGs are now on people's radar, but it's one that I think is going to be worth playing, even though it feels a little janky. I know it was.
Is this one to watch?
It's one to watch. Yeah, it is. I had a good time with it.
I remember playing the first time. It was really old feeling, right? Even though it wasn't as.
Do you ever play any of these? Zoltan, are you an ARPG guy? What do you think?
I'm not really an ARPG guy, no, but I have heard of Titanfall.
Quest.
I'm sorry, Titan Quest.
There's too many Titan
very different games.
Yeah, Titan Quest. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Titan Quest. But no, I haven't checked it out. But these games, I don't know. I tend to shy away from these games because I feel like there's so much loot management. Yeah, so much loot and management to sort and everything. And it's like, I find myself, it's just like an anxiety disaster when I get into those
I know.
games.
I can relate because when I first started playing Path of Exile, I mean, Diablo was palatable, but when I first started playing Path of Exile, I got that anxiety with loot because in that game, when you change gear, everything breaks and you have to figure out your links and your colors and your gems. And I had friends that helped me out. So I think if you ever do get into it,
just the skill tree alone is intimidating.
Knows how to play that can walk you through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Path of Exile 2 is a lot more new player friendly. Like, it's harder combat wise in the beginning, but as far as this, like getting into it and understanding how it works, I don't know. I think it's a good challenge every gamer should do. Like, ARPG is one of my favorite genres. I don't think any gamer should not try it, but I get that it's a little intimidating. There's a lot of loot.
So if I was gonna start like an intro ARPG, which one would you say to start with?
Diablo 2 Resurrected. Start back with one of the OGs. Have you ever played any old Diablos?
Okay.
No, I'll play the new one.
You know what? I was gonna talk about Diablo 4 for the show because I never played. Any Diablos.
Start with Diablo 4.
And I just downloaded it off of Game Pass. So.
That's a good one to start with. Probably
that's the
for
correct
a newbie.
one. It's the correct one.
I don't know. I think
No,
Diablo 2
start
is
with Diablo 4
for a new player. Yeah, go with 4. I
4.
think it's going to be the flashiest or whatever, even though it's not the best. But it's on Game Pass now too, so it's kind of like good for people.
Yeah, that's why I installed it. But I do this all the time. I install games on Game Pass and then I never play them.
I installed 4 games over the weekend. Didn't play any of them.
Well, I installed a game on Game Pass.
But seriously, Zoltan, like Diablo 4 is accessible. It's fun. It is fun. It was
fun
Michelle,
for 2 weeks before
she's
burned through all the
on
content.
her PoE high horse.
Well,
just
that's
trust
probably
me.
all I'm going to play it anyway.
Yeah.
I'm a lot like John in the sense that it's like
fine.
I come and go with games in and out real quick. You know,
play through for like the 60-hour campaign that John did, like whatever, John, like you're saying, right? You don't have to come back all the time or do all the content. Just
forget
play
the end
through.
game stuff. Just do the story stuff.
I mean, literally all I got to do is pick up a controller and hit start. It's installed.
It's in there. All right, good. So do it. That's your assignment.
I thought it was rather addicting. Those hours I played.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good advice. All right, so I did actually install a Game Pass game on the Game Pass PC launcher, which is rare for me because I'm a Steam person. But Phil is delivering, John, a lot of games.
He really is.
And I was curious about this 33 Immortals game, and I know you played too. So let's talk about it.
I want to talk about it. I mean, first of all, this game was not on my radar at all. And
we saw it at one of the events, and it's only
whatever.
out on Epic right now. It's coming to Steam later. So if you want to play on PC, you have to go through Microsoft Store Game Pass app, I think. Yeah, it's not on Steam yet.
Okay.
But this should be free to play on Steam, and they should have
Phil's
the cosmetics and the dogs. But Phil, this is a good thing here because he got me to open up my Game Pass app and install this game, and I actually kind of had a good time, John. It's not perfect, but I really like a lot of what they're doing.
It's well executed. And this is like an early access style game. Like it's not done.
Yeah, it's definitely not done. I mean, so basically the idea of this is it's sort of like a co-op roguelike, okay? But the trick here is there's 32 other players, okay? So there's 33 Immortals. You go into this world, this raid, and you're closing these sort of
portals,
gates and portals. Yeah, and you're basically trying to get to the boss, Lucifer, and it's all based on like Dante's Inferno, and the art style and the music. It's gorgeous. It's very, I don't know. It's, how would you describe it, John? Like it's almost like cathedral.
Yeah. I mean, the art style is pretty effective. It's kind of cartoony, like a little Hades-ish, maybe a little teeny tiny bit. I think the style's great. But yeah, it has that kind of gothic, whatever, Vatican stuff, like you said,
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, it's pretty cool. Like the combat, people are saying it's tight and fluid, like all these reviews. The combat's clunky and not that great, honestly.
All right, I want to talk about that. Let's back up a second.
Yeah.
So first of all, like this game, you have a hub world, with all these places you can level up your character. And you're basically going into these instant like dungeons with 2 other players, like Michelle said.
Well, there's only 3 right now. There's a map with 33 people, a map with 23 people, and then the one that's coming soon. You need a key. You got to beat Lucifer to get into the second map. So there's only one map you can do over and over and over, but it's procedurally generated. However, it's still very repetitive, and most people don't know what they're doing. They're all running around with like chickens with their heads cut off.
Yeah, well, I experienced that too. So like you go in there with, again, 32 other people in this instant dungeon, and inside that dungeon are smaller dungeons called torture chambers.
They're not
that you're
dungeons.
trying to
They're just a room you walk in.
Okay, they're arenas. They're like a little arena where you have to kill a boss. It's a small room where you
kill a few things, and there's 12 of them.
It's another little
and then there's an outdoor event sort of like Hell
Yeah.
Tides in PoE. I'm sorry, in Diablo. And so you do the outdoor event, and then you go kill Lucifer, which is interesting because a lot of people. It reminds me of Raid Finder and WoW, John, because it's like you can just stand there in the corner for most of it.
I had the same thought.
So you're playing in cooperation with all the other people, or you're playing against each other?
Because you cannot
you're on a team
anything
together
yourself. Like you
It's
have to
hard.
run around with a team of 5 people because you don't hurt people at all. And so, but some of them I thought might have been bots. John, like I don't know, was Lasagna Lover 92 real? Because he kept running into a wall, and
I had the same thought, Michelle, because I was like, wow, this is pretty amazing how fast the games are starting. The room is full, you know, and I was kind of impressed with that. And I'm like, oh, wait, are there bots in here?
I think some of them are. But the thing is, the meta progression in this game is not as good as something like Hades. You can level up your weapon. You can have these relics.
I want to talk about the weapons.
But it's really all about how strong you are just during that raid. And go ahead with the combat, because what are your thoughts on it? I tried all of the weapons.
I did too. And so there's like a sword, like a melee guy. There's daggers, a melee guy. There's a caster. There's a bow and arrow, right? I think those are the 4 right now. There's pedestals for future weapons, if you noticed, right? Like in the beginning
I'm sure there'll be more, and it's all about the co-op move you can pull off together, which is awkward and nobody really...
let's talk about that in a second.
It doesn't feel fun to use.
Let's talk about that in a second. Okay, so each weapon then has like a different style of co-op thing, like Michelle said, they put on the ground.
Heavy attack, light attack, then a co-op attack.
The weapons themselves, though, are rather one-dimensional, even though you have 3 variations. You have... like if you're using mouse, a left click, a right click, and then like a left hold or whatever. Like I'm doing the dagger guy, and I wanted like more stuff to do. Like I wanted like
it's very basic.
So is there like a short weapon, a long weapon, and a ranged weapon, or
there's two
ranged and 2 melee.
Yep.
So I was doing the dagger. Did you do the wand? Because I thought that was kind of weak.
The staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the staff. I did mostly. I think the bow and arrow is the strongest one because you shit these arrows out and then they fly back through you, almost like if you played a rogue in Diablo. Like,
you suck them back up, and then they do damage again.
Like twisting blades, and they do damage again. And I think that, and also the co-op move that the bow and arrow guy gets is great. So there's 3 little spots that appear on the floor. 2 other people have to stand on top of them, and you have to stand still for a second, and then a co-op move will come out. It's all about working together. Also,
and this is an ultimate. You have a meter for this. You can't do this all the time.
If you played Hell Tides in Diablo, talking about Diablo again, it almost feels like that a bit because you're running around a chest, you're collecting bones, you're healing at things. If you heal, you'll heal the people around you. You have to run around with the group. Now you can go in if you have 32 other friends with your own private match. That would probably actually be fun. But there was really no way to communicate with people other than emotes. And
I'm okay with that.
I wanted to yell at people. I'm okay with that. Like you have to hit the chains on the hand. Yeah, I know. But like coming from WoW, it just ends up feeling like if you're at the mercy of the shitty people in your group, and that frustrates me when I'm running around and I'm trying to follow the people with the dogs. So I'm like, at least they had 350 gems to buy a dog cosmetic. They must know what they're doing. Lasagna Lover 24 must know what he's doing. He didn't know what he was doing. Okay, he's standing in the fire.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You're
Listen,
at the mercy of these people. I wish I could change the tide a little bit.
K-pop
in a raid in WoW,
I followed him around. But listen,
K-pop Pete,
like, yes. But what I found, though, the matches that I played.
Yeah,
people were splitting up into basically groups of 5 or 6 people.
They start you like that, and you run around to the different.
No, but why can't we have all 30 people together at the same time?
You do at the end. So here's the problem with it. You start off with 32
it would probably be
people.
too easy, right?
Yeah, by the time you get to Lucifer at the end, you're supposed to have like most of your people. Every time I got there, I had like me and 5 other people. One time I had 10, and then very quickly, because they weren't doing the mechanics that were obvious, we ran down to me and 2 other people just beating at the boss, and we couldn't do anything. Now, the thing about WoW, which I love, even in a raid, like if I'm the last healer alive and I've got a tank with me and like 2 DPS, like we can kind of turn that around and get 20 people back up, and we can still win. You are screwed in this game because like you're at the mercy of your team. If you get a lot of shitty people, it's going to ruin like an hour's worth of work to get there. That's what I don't like.
Or if a lot of people drop out, new people don't get added, right?
No,
You're
I
just
didn't
screwed.
see new people coming in, and they should fill it with bots or something, or let people join.
No, Michelle, there's
and how long does a round take?
It takes a while, like an hour to get to Lucifer.
So there's a counter in the top right that shows you how many people are left, and I think that's by design, right?
Yeah.
And then
if
when
see
you
it go
die,
up, it means they were resurrected.
Yeah. So and when you die, though, you're kind of ranked with the other players who died or survived.
You can die once and get res, and then you have like a disease, and then if you die again, unless you've leveled it up, you're permanently done. But there is resing only once until you level it up, but then you can keep.
And then when you
work on it, though, it's just not balanced.
Your max health is at like 25% of what it used to be.
You can overcome that. Perks and overcome it, as you level. But I think the idea of this game is great, but they need to have
awesome.
They should have smaller maps where you can turn the tide more.
I want stuff to do. I want more like action bar shit. Like that's what I want.
You're not going to get that.
I think it'd be amazing. Because all I was doing was wailing on
these
people.
These guys can hardly handle this. I watched Lasagna
daggers.
Lover run into a wall for 20 minutes, John. Just let's keep it basic here. No, I wish they had smaller maps.
I actually was playing with some good people. And the thing is, though, like, you do spawn with like 5 people.
Did you get to Lucifer and
no,
kill him?
I didn't. Well,
that's the thing. Everyone's fine until you get to this. You got to get to the...
Right.
So after you close the 12 gates, did you get to the big event after the 12 gates?
Is it the chain thing?
No, that's just a mini boss.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Once you close the 12 gates, it's all of a sudden shit goes down. It's sort of like a fog of war rushes through the screen. You got to run to one point on the map and shit goes down. And there's like, you're being flooded with enemies and everybody has to use their co-op skills and everybody has to kill shit because I noticed like half the people seem to drop off then. And then once you survive that, you ascend, you go up to the sky, you go to the lake and you kill Lucifer. And that's when you really need a lot of people with you. And I'm there, I make it to the end and I'm looking around and it's like me and a few people because people just don't know how to survive.
When you
dodge.
get to that, when you get to Lucifer though, can you sit there and wait for people to show up?
No.
You can't.
No, it's the only surviving people. You wait once you ascend and you go in there.
So you spend, an hour in a round and then you end up in front of Satan himself with 3 other dudes.
Exactly.
With K-pop Pete and Lasagna Sam.
It's just
and you're like,
Lasagna
I'm screwed.
Sam. Exactly. They need a way to counter that because it did remind me of like being in a raid in WoW where you guys have been banging your head against the wall over and over and over, but you can start back at that point at the boss. I can't. I know it's a roguelike. I know I can start again, but usually that falls on me or a few of my friends. It doesn't fall on me and Lasagna Pete and K-pop Stan, okay, and all these been Fruity Pebbles 204.
It sounds like it could get frustrating a little bit.
It's just too many variables, John, for me. I'd love a smaller map where it was like going with 5 people, that there's a ranking system where you only go in with people who've cleared certain things or whatever. But maybe people will start to learn what they're doing more or get good. And I won't have wasted an hour to get to the final boss just to watch people die.
Get good, bro.
Get good, bro.
I mean, pro tip, do the tutorials because I didn't know initially how the co-op thing worked with the circles on the ground because I didn't do the third tutorial. And then I did it. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. You stand in the circle and press E. Okay.
It's addictive and fun, though. I don't want to shit on it. Like I like this a lot.
It is. Like I think the execution's fucking awesome. I just wish the combat was a little more interesting. I was doing the dagger person. It was just mindless melee shit. And then
combat
you
would be fine with only those many buttons if it actually felt good. It felt slow and
the aiming is a little.
Aiming was all over the place. Well, you're supposed to use controller. I tried both.
I tried both too. Controller was not. I thought mouse and keyboard felt better with this, and I thought for sure when I started that the controller was going to be the way to go. Mm-hmm. It's not. I think mouse and keyboard's better for this game for aiming.
Yeah, my fingers started hurting, but I might agree with you. Sorry, Zolt.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Okay. No, if you want to, we should get a group of 33 people together. I don't know, we should organize in Discord or something because I'd actually like to do this with people who are paying attention and communicating because I want to kill the boss. I want to see what happens. I think you unlock the next raid and then that's all there is right now. There's just 2 raids. There's going to be a third coming. I'd love some smaller maps or something I could do solo.
How about a healer class?
Yeah, there is a shield guy. It's the co-op move is a shield from the sword and board.
Right,
dude.
but you can heal other people because if you heal yourself at those little stations,
that's not
the
a
people nearby
class,
get.
Michelle wants somebody that throws magic, right?
Well,
there is a staff. There is a staff. I just want a way to
AOE
feel like
bubbles. It's stupid. I thought that was dumb.
It's pretty good. I think the bow and arrow though is the strongest one in my opinion. I do really like that one. So I don't know, but check out 33
I hated
Immortals.
the sword.
Great get from Phil on Game Pass, especially for PC people because you can avoid Epic Game Store. You can go right into your Game Pass app if you have it and check it out. I think it's great, John. I loved so much about it, but I see the potential that I just want them to refine. All the
but
bitching
again,
I did
they
is out of love.
they're getting a lot of feedback. They're saying this is not done. Just so you know, going into this, there's a huge disclaimer when you launch the game. So don't you think the community is going to give them the proper feedback? The people that really like these types of games?
I think so. And W2M Network says you guys have made me more excited to play 33 Immortals. Yeah, I think give it a few matches before it clicks. Don't just turn it off immediately. It's going to click for you. You're going to notice the 12 gates, and then there's the event, and then there's the boss. But I'm telling you, we'll have some moments of frustration, like Zoltan, like you're telling me, I got there for an hour, we got to the boss, and it's just me and 3 people, and then you die in that whole time. So I just left one of the matches early because I saw that these guys were running. I'm like, these guys are not going to be able to make it to him, So I want to just go in with people that know what they're doing, and that's the frustrating thing with so many players, John, right? Because some of them, right, you need to rely on them. You can't. This
but I want to ask the question:
one man show it.
Why not? Why doesn't everyone get together on the map? Because
there's 12 portals to close, and they only take 6 in each portal. If you've noticed, you can only go in one portal with 6 people, so you can't have 33 people in one portal. The map's too small, and they want you to.
But
break
if
up
I
into
would hit
groups and work
tab,
together.
and I would see people like a lot of solo players all by themselves, and people over here, and I was like constantly
there's 12
trying
gates to close all over the map.
I understand.
So you're breaking off in 33 with groups
the
of 5 or
torture
6.
chambers. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. And then, like I said, a lot of potential, but I can see the games that inspired it, but they need to make you yourself feel more like you can turn the tide a little bit. Maybe allow resurrecting to be a little bit more friendly. Maybe, let me hit a little harder. So if
What's wrong with resurrection?
I don't think, because I don't want to get to the end and it's just me and 3 people and I can't kill Lucifer. Let me give me a chance to res at the end. Like, let's get more people to the boss. Like, I spent an hour and everybody just dropped dead right before the boss because of that final event. Like, make resing better so they can get there. Otherwise,
at one of those little like station things, you can res your whole team. It said if you had enough of the currency.
Right, but they've like quit, right? They died, they quit, and that's if they're all down at once, John. Like they're in res mode, they get 30 seconds to be res. Once they're dead, they've quit the game, so you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like we need a way to get people back in the game because I wanted more people around for the final boss fight. I wanted to throw my head at it, do it a few times, learn the mechanics, figure out the chains, but there's just not enough people and we couldn't do it. So I don't know, great game. A lot of potential. So check out 33 Immortals. I think that's a great Game Pass game because you need people to play.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but not perfect. It's early access and it's going to get better. Hopefully, I hope they stick with it. I also did play some more Monster Hunter Wild. Still enjoying myself, having a good time, and that's like I said, going to be a game I return to for a bit as well. And I am just drinking Tazo Passion Tea with True Lemon. All right, John, what did you do this last week? You angrily told me, quote, I spent $100 on this.
I bet he didn't play Indiana Jones.
Okay. I didn't. It's true. Okay. And I'm upset with myself because I made a promise I would play it every week and I have not played it in 2 weeks now. So
yeah, John's promises mean nothing.
I made a promise to myself, okay?
I know, but you've broken promises to me multiple times over the 20 years I've known you, okay? I will never break a promise. If I promise you I'm going to do something, I will do it. Try me.
All right, listen.
Maybe we should make him pinky swear next time.
Yeah. I think so.
So over the weekend, I realized that the show is playable on the 14th. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck already? Because I wasn't in baseball mindset, like wasn't thinking about it, right? And I looked it up, and sure enough, the game officially comes out today. But if you wanted to play early, you had to pay $100 and buy the digital deluxe. And I'm sitting there going, oh, fuck, it's Saturday. I should be playing it right now. Otherwise, I got to wait till Monday.
They got you.
They got me. Now, here's the thing. This year, it's not on Game Pass. Phil did not deliver this year. Which
he's too busy with other games, John.
Wait, John, did you pay the extra money to play it and then not play it?
No, I played it.
No, he played it. It was $100 so he could play it early.
It was painful.
Where did you buy it, John?
I bought it on the PlayStation.
Why? I thought you were an Xbox guy and Sony was dead.
Well, because this is a Sony first-party title. Why wouldn't I buy it there?
Well, I don't know.
Listen. I would think the best experience is going to be on the PlayStation before the Xbox.
Every time a game comes out for everything and you have the option, you buy it on your PlayStation.
That's not true.
Yet
that is not true.
To be an Xbox
That's
guy
not
and
true.
Say Sony's dead.
No, I have very
just an observation.
No, I have rules about this. Okay. First person shooters, Xbox. Single player narrative games, typically PS5.
Well, that's because they're exclusive to them.
Well, no, like Harry Potter, even like RPG or whatever. Whatever. Okay. So I paid the $100. Now I have to admit, like the last 2 years, and maybe Game Pass has something to do with this. I kind of got a little lukewarm about the show.
That's
a little sick of it.
Is it better now that you bought it? That's the question we all have.
Well,
I bet it looks like an identical game.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
So I launched the game. It looks like the identical game. Okay.
Yeah.
I figured that.
And it's the same scheme. The first time you launch it, they throw you into a game instead of putting you in the menu, and you got to play through a few innings, and then it's like, like they do this every year. Like I mean, it's like just stop doing this. Like just bring me to the menu, and let me set up my game. pick my favorite team, make my player, all that shit, right? So yes, immediately I'm like, okay, I had kind of instant regret. I'm like, oh man, if this is just like the show 24, I'm gonna be pretty mad. So visually, I think it is. I think the menu system is greatly improved, and I think that's kind of important because there's so many little modes and things you can do in this. I think this year is like the best organized menu system I've seen to date with this series. And I even think like Madden has this problem with all these different modes and ways to play the game. Now, some of the big changes are Road to Show, which is not my favorite mode, but one of my favorite modes. And so Road to Show is basically a career mode where you make your own character. You could scan your face with the app and they'll superimpose it on the character. I never do that. No,
You should just run with Sammy Sosa because everyone says she looks
you
like
have
her.
to do that. You have to do that.
I usually just take the first random guy and then
No, you got to do it and post it.
My guy's name is Joe Random. That's like the default name. Okay. So the one thing they changed on Road to Show, which people are excited about, is that you now start in high school. You're a high school player and you're trying to get recruited by colleges and then get recruited by the big leagues. And that's your whole career. And
well, that's kind of fun. Do you get to do they tell you scouts are coming to watch you and stuff like that? Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. That's fun.
And there's a lot of
high school life. Do you get to go date your girlfriend?
You're just depressing your room alone with a cell phone.
Stuffed in a locker.
Oh,
no. No.
I hope you're a baseball star. You should be doing the stuffing.
The only thing that happens in your life outside the baseball diamond is that you are in your room alone, depressed with a cell phone. That's it.
Well, that's pretty typical for.
Yeah, so I think it's accurate.
That sounds too much like real life.
And then your friend is texting you, and depending on your answers, it kind of changes your stats. Are you a leader? Are you a team player? Like that kind of stuff. Are you
cool.
cocky?
They did some sort of other aspect.
So I like this mode quite a bit. What I like about it too is that it's a really different way to play because you basically pick a position, and you only play that position. Whereas if you play a normal game, you play all the batters and then you pitch and then you play all the fielders. And when you pick a position, if I'm the center fielder, I'm only the center fielder in the game. So during when we're pitching, I'm in the outfield waiting for a hit, right? And they do it in a way where you basically get to play when stuff happens to you, right? So you're not sitting there really waiting, for like 20 minutes for someone to hit it to the center field. But when it does, then you have this event, and they added this first person view to catch balls, which I'm not sure how I feel about it. Because normally it would be a third-person view. They put like a marker on the ground that shows you where it's going to land, and you're sprinting to try to get there. And then after you get the ball, they added these quick time events that I'm not crazy about to throw it to the base. And again, this is in Road to Show. I almost feel like they're experimenting with stuff in this mode that might leak into the normal game, the main game.
So in the regular game, it doesn't work that way.
No,
right?
It doesn't.
It's third person. It's third person when you go to catch.
Yes, but in Road to the Show, you could do third or first. You have an option, and you can switch on the fly. And again, I feel like they're experimenting with stuff in this mode that they're going to maybe put into the regular version of the game. The full Major League games. The running on the bases felt cool. Like I really like this game again because you actually have the position. I'm a center fielder. I feel like a center fielder. I only play in center field and I bat. I don't do anything else. I don't worry about any other players in the team. I don't control them. I don't control the pitcher unless I chose the pitcher as my position. So it's pretty cool. So I'm definitely going to play that quite a bit. Now they added this other thing, Michelle, called Diamond Quest. That's pretty fucking great.
Okay.
It's a rogue.
Diamond Dynasty they added last time, right? Now it's
Diamond Dynasty's been here all around. Okay, so Diamond Quest is within Diamond Dynasty. Diamond Dynasty is the mode where you basically open packs of cards and you build the best team you can from the baseball cards.
I was going to ask you about the packs. Did you get extra packs of cards
a lot.
Buying early and all that stuff?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I got I don't know. I opened 30 or 40 packs after I bought it. So I got 20 standard packs and then a bunch of bonus packs. I don't know how many of them were introductory free packs or whatever. But I opened 40 packs with this. So Diamond Dynasty is the mode where you open the packs, you make the best team, and then they have all these different modes using those teams, right? You can play against other people, you can play against friends using your baseball card team. But they added a mode called Diamond Quest, and it is a roguelite. It's a board game. It's like a dungeon crawler. And it's actually really fucking cool. And what it is that you have this randomly generated game board, literally, and you roll dice and you're moving your player around the board, working your way to the stadium that you have to defeat. So, for instance, Yankee Stadium's on the board. You have to get to the stadium, defeat the Yankees, and then if you do, you basically are able to leave with all the loot you collected along the way. And as you go along the way on the game board, you have these events, these surprises that pop up, like a challenger. And then if you beat them, then you get like a pack of cards, right? But then if you lose at Yankee Stadium, you lose all of that loot you got along the way. And I think it's clever, and I think it's fun, and it's a great way to just use your baseball cards with all these different kind of challenges. It's kind of light, a little goofy, but the gameplay is classic the show. You're basically like one of the challenges might be, again, you strike out one player, in this inning, get out of the inning without a hit, basically strike out the player, and if you do
that they're doing new
you win
modes,
the pack.
John, though, because
Yes,
it makes
I do
it feel
too.
like it was worth to buy. If you just update the roster.
at least you didn't pay $100 for the same game.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
You get some new features.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of similar to a mode they had before called Conquest, but they kind of took that and added like a rogue to it, and they made it look like Dungeons and Dragons, like you're rolling like a D6 die and stuff, and there's a game board.
It's funny.
And there's a monster chasing you on the game board too. And there's little like surprise events again, like when you step on them. And then the franchise mode, which I never really do. I know that's been completely revamped and it's like a lot deeper. So if you're into like the management aspect of baseball, where you're like the GM of the team, and I guess the management of the team off season has been greatly like inflated, like what you can do. And I don't really know because I don't really play that mode, but I know that they expanded that quite a bit. On Diamond Dynasty, they did something really big that ruined the game last year. Last year on Diamond Dynasty, they had something called seasons and sets. So before, you were collecting your team by opening packs throughout the entire year, right? Last year, they changed it to seasons and sets, and you had basically 6-week windows, and they would give you temporary cards that they would then take
over and over.
Yes, they would take the cards away. Like you'd get a really good 99 card, and then when that 6-week season was over, they took the card away. And now they erased that. They went back to the old model where you're opening packs, trying to make the best team over time, one team forever, and that's the way it should be. Like
Absolutely, because if you spend all that money, I mean, what's the incentive to keep buying the crap if you think you're going to lose it?
They were giving you like free 99 cards, but you only got to use them for like a few weeks. It's like they gave you a taste of it.
Yeah, that's dumb.
They want to reset, so so you have to keep spending.
Yeah, so they can charge you for it a second time.
Yeah, and then the stories thing is back, where they continue the Negro League stories of all the players that you probably have never heard of, and they've been doing that for the last couple of games, and those are actually really interesting. They're like little movies and stuff, and you get to play as them. So I mean, at least try a couple of those, because they're super interesting, like some of these stories, and they're very well executed. And then they added what else did they add? I'm trying to think. I mean, all the other stuff is here, like Home Run Derby, which I have to admit is a little stale by now. Like they should like
you like the game better now that you paid $100 for it versus when you got it.
Yeah,
on Game
I think
Pass,
because
John.
Phil's not involved and Game Pass.
Yeah, John, I was going to ask you. So let's say next year rolls around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the 26 comes out.
Yeah,
and now that's $120. Are we in?
I mean, I have spent $100 on this before, but the last time I did, I actually got like a baseball hat. Like I got something.
Yeah, that makes sense. They should be giving you a baseball hat.
Right.
Yeah. I should have got something for $100, but like I said, it kind of caught me off guard on Saturday because I didn't realize it was fucking out. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I can play this right now? Are you fucking kidding me?
I didn't either. I thought the game kind of like was dying, honestly. Like nobody really cared about it.
So why isn't it on Game Pass anymore? What happened there?
I don't know. I think Phil pissed them off.
Phil
They want to pay the license or something.
Phil didn't do it this time,
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Phil's
Yeah.
got the big bucks going towards other stuff now, John. All right. He's got Claire Obscure
think
coming
so?
up. He's got Doom coming up. He's got some big games
Yeah.
for Game Pass.
I mean,
We don't
listen,
need the show.
I was absolutely shocked that the show was added to the Game Pass, honestly. Like, I was shocked.
Yeah, being a PlayStation studio game, right? Isn't it? So-
Yeah, but I think Major League Baseball put some pressure on them to release it on Xbox. I think that's fact.
Absolutely.
But okay, fine, put it on Xbox, but give it away. Like, what deal was made there?
Well, I mean, people went and bought stubs though, like you though, John.
Yes,
because
yes,
you
yeah.
got the game free, right? Quote free, so you felt more inclined to spend a little money on it. So maybe they thought
Right.
they'd make money that way.
I suppose, but I feel like honestly, I spent way less money on the game than the last 2 years than I have in previous years.
Right.
And
But you
again,
like it now that you've paid for it. There is something psychological.
I don't know
It's like
if
a
that's
woman.
really
if she's throwing
true.
herself at you, you probably want her less if she's
Yeah,
playing hard to get, right? So just enjoy it. You paid $100 for it. You got her a good meal.
You want the one
Just
that
enjoy
ignores
it.
you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are twisted. So just have fun.
Yeah,
with it.
so it's pretty good. I mean, it's out now, so I recommend getting it. I mean, there's enough new stuff here for me.
Mm-hmm. Where you feel worth it. You'll play it for a while too. You can.
I
play it
usually
all.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite Sunday, spring, and summer games to play.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something about it. It just feels right with the sun shining outside and I'm playing baseball. I don't know.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, that's it for me. I'm drinking a Sun Cruiser.
All right, Zoltan. What'd you do over there?
Yeah. So, well, first of all, thanks for having me here, guys. I've been listening to the show so many years, and it's awesome to come on here
Well,
and
thank you. Thanks
just
for being
hang out a
listener.
little bit. So,
Yep.
yeah, thanks for having me. So, the first thing I want to talk about is, Spider-Man 2. And I know this is an older game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for those of us that decided to skip the PlayStation 5, like myself, just got access to it this January. It came out for PC. So
Mm-hmm.
I picked that up about a month ago, and I nearly 100%ed that game, and I have to say I loved it.
Yeah.
But
Wait, John, you said it's better
it is
on the Steam Deck than the PlayStation anyway with Spider-Man, right? So he made the right move waiting because it's a better game,
Yeah.
Zoltan, now on PC. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if it's a better. I found it more enjoyable on the Steam Deck, and I can't even make sense of that.
Yeah.
But I did.
so. How did it run on the Steam Deck, John? Because
Shockingly good.
I was surprised. One of
30-ish.
my main complaints with this game is how poorly optimized it was. I mean, when
Really?
I
No.
got it on the day that it came out, for PC.
Yep.
And installed it, and I probably had 3 or 4 crashes.
Now hang
in
on
the
though.
first-
I
He's
think
talking
I'm
about the
playing.
original.
I'm playing
Yeah,
the
he's talking about
remaster.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm talking. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is I think a lot more.
Yeah, I'm
graphically
playing the
intensive.
I'm playing
Yeah.
the remastered Spider-Man.
Yeah.
on
I don't know how
Steam.
that
Okay.
one is on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. This is the Spider-Man 2 game, and I have to say this game.
I bought that on PS5, but go on.
Yeah, and this game is so shiny and so polished. It really has that Sony polish to it. I mean, it's crisp and nice, but I would have to say that the PC version was really poorly optimized. I had to get on forums to find out what was going on because
Now, what's your setup though? What do you got?
So and I actually upgraded my setup right after I got the game because I was like, okay, maybe it's my setup. So I ended up playing this whole game. I'm on I'm still on the 3080.
Okay, well that's what I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rocking the Founders Edition 3080, and I got a 12900K in there.
Yeah, no, you should be set
I got
to
plenty
play
of RAM.
anything. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah,
That's my identical setup, by the way.
Yeah,
right. And you're
yeah.
on
So
ultra
and then
wide.
I
don't
got
know if
I guess
Zoltan's
32.
4K, but
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm playing on a 4K
so that's the killer.
TV.
Right there.
That's it right there. I'm on
you're doing
1440.
native 4K, right? Or you got to use the upres.
So no, actually, I ended up not being able to really play the game in native 4K.
Yeah.
It was just not a great experience. So I ended up bringing it down a little bit, and I was able to get full 60.
Right.
And it still looks great.
Well, you're not playing
But I
native
was just
4K on the
surprised.
PlayStation either. People don't really know that. They think they are, but they're not, right? You're playing like 900p up.
Yeah,
so
I was
on PC,
wondering
you
about
just gotta-
that. Is the
No.
the PlayStation 5 experience, that's not native 4K, right?
No, but the upres
No.
technology is there now. Like I said, I've talked about this before. I mean, it's not PC Outsiders, but yeah, like DLSS 4 is very, very good. It looks better than native in some cases because of the AI. So like
Sure.
you don't need to worry about like the native thing used to mean a lot more than it did. Now it's like up-resing technology is good. It's there, some better than others, and you're going to be able to get a good experience. So you're
Yeah.
playing now 4K
But it had
60
me. You know what it had me thinking about though is it had me thinking about the argument that console people often make is like, well, with the console it just works,
Sure.
and that really was true in this situation because if you're a person that doesn't know anything about PCs,
It works because it works
The
because
graphics are lower
they're
on the way
making
in.
decisions on your behalf.
Yeah.
of course,
about how to make it
of course.
run.
For someone like you, like I
Yeah.
recommend the NVIDIA app, Zoltan. You just click a button and it'll optimize
Yeah.
it for you. And then
Well,
you'll
I
have
tried.
that
I actually
experience.
tried the NVIDIA optimization.
Okay.
And I didn't get great results with that either. I ended up going to
Interesting.
like a Reddit forum where somebody was like, "Hey, if you
Armchair
have a
Reddit,
3080 and
Do
a
this.
12900K, this is the settings."
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I
I
did
mean,
it,
there's
and
so
then
many
after that, no more
variables, right?
crashes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, good. Crashes are no
Yeah.
fun, but
But
Sony
so
usually
I would
does
say,
good ports, though.
This is a beautiful game. If you missed it because you decided, like me,
Yep.
not to buy a PlayStation 5, and I was a Sony pony for a long time. I had placed all the PlayStations, even up to the 4 Pro, and then with the 5, I just decided, why? I'm not going to do it. I got a PC now. This
Yeah.
PC does everything I need it to do. I'm not
Yeah.
doing these consoles.
Zoltan, let me ask you
that's
a
I'm
where
not
I'm
going
at.
to do it.
So Zoltan, I have to ask you about the Spider-Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I do enjoy the game. It's fun, right? Swinging around the city. But,
Sure.
And I bought the first one. I bought the second one. I bought the remaster. I
Yeah.
bought the offshoot one with the kid.
Are you going to stick with it? Is what he's asking.
Well, no. what I'm asking you, though, is that I recognize it's well done, but it just gets so repetitive for me after
They
like
are
hours.
they're extremely
after a few
repetitive.
hours. And I love open sandbox games. I love swinging around, but it's like, I don't know.
I think that there is an element of the repetitiveness to it, but
Yeah.
I think what makes up for it for me is that the stories in these games are so well done. It's almost like a movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not, I like to go out and do all the side quest baloney stuff, usually after I finish the main quest. So, I'll do the main quest, and if there's parts where I feel weak, I'll go out and I'll do some extra things just to get some extra XP, whatever, to get a little stronger, and then I'll keep going. But I try not to bore myself by doing the same repetitive missions over and over again and just kind of stick to
But
the
you're
storyline.
Spider-Man in the world, right? That's the fun of it. I'd love to see a
Right.
Batman
That's
game
it.
like that because I love
Yeah.
the Batman movies. But so I think like the repetitiveness is sort of probably wanted. Like you're going out, you're doing the missions. It's
Yeah,
open
and
world
and-
GTA
and-
style. People probably want that. I think you just don't like Spider-Man or the Spider-Man games, John.
And sometimes I'll just jump in and I'll do like one or two of those little missions or, just swing around the city.
Yeah.
And the swinging is
It's
so
fun.
satisfying in this
Yes.
game.
It is.
Yeah. And
And
New
the
York
combat moves
is the
to
star of the
unlock and
show.
stuff. Yeah.
The
I
city
agree
looks
with you there.
gorgeous.
It
Yeah.
does look gorgeous. And, I was a Spider-Man fan when I was a kid. I mean, I mentioned this before. I was Spider-Man for Halloween with my mom dyed long underwear red and drew webs on it with a marker. Okay.
I love that.
So, but yeah, I like Batman more. But I just feel like I wanted just more stuff to do in the game. But
Sure.
like,
Tons
like
to do though.
I know there is, but I end up just like doing the same things over and again, like the things on the roofs, the towers, whatever, and looking for all that shit. Like,
Yeah. I think you got to progress through the story.
No, and
much
Spider-Man
wanna
2
learn
has the same-
story.
yeah,
The same setup. And what? Spider-Man 2 is kind of like they threw everything in the Spider-Man universe into it. Okay.
Yeah,
So you're not just playing as Spider-Man, you're also playing as
Yeah.
Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I don't want to throw any spoilers out there,
I
but
thought
maybe
the
some of the
Miles
bad
one
guys
was-
too you get
it
to
was
play
cool.
as.
And then,
So
yeah, and the
Yeah.
outfits are a big part now. Or
yeah, I mean, there's so many collectibles outfits, and
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of content in here. Although
I also don't
feel
like the stealth stuff where you're in the rafters, and I didn't like any of that shit either.
Well, you are Spider-Man, so he's not exactly a run and gunner.
I just didn't like any of the rafter stuff.
The comic book
I don't like the rafter
so
business.
He walks in like
Get
the Punisher.
the fucking rafters out. What?
But you don't have to do it stealth. I mean, you can go in there and just wreck the place. And I mean,
he's
sometimes
Spider-Man. He's gonna be up high, John. I don't
he's
know
in the rafters all the time, pulling guys up and
Spider-Man.
Wait, are you telling me this spider is making webs in the rafters?
Yeah. What the hell is wrong with it? We got to talk to the guy who created this. No, I hear you.
Yeah, the Mary Jane level, like what was that one with the bike riding thing and like
museum?
Yeah, the Mary Jane stealth sessions are for me, I think the most annoying part of the game for sure. Yeah, it really slows the action down. Not my favorite.
Yeah, you want to be the superhero, not his annoying girlfriend.
Yeah, but I would say, if you miss this game, go check it out, and it's great on PC. And I think that it's probably better optimized now. They've done a couple updates I've noticed since I initially installed it, so it's running better now. But I did want to transition over and talk about also. I decided to check out Ubisoft Plus. This last week, not like I needed another streaming service, right? Or
no, this is another gaming service. This is the service that you do for a month and then you cancel.
It's a good time to do it, though.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's what it is.
I've been looking at. I thought, okay, the time is right to try this now because I've been wanting to play Star Wars Outlaws. That's been on my radar. I haven't checked it out yet, and I was looking in the price for that game is still $60. I think the deluxe edition or whatever is $90 or something, and you get that with the Ubisoft Plus. So I was like, okay, for $17.99 I can play that for a month, and maybe a game like that I could play it for 4 hours and never play it again, or maybe I finish it in a month. That's probably, it's either going to go one way or the other is kind of what I figured. So I decided to check that out, and then I was like, well, okay, if I get Ubisoft Plus, then I can also check out that Avatar game, the
horrible.
What was that called? Frontiers of Pandora.
John,
did you guys
it was better than you thought
check that out
when you played? He didn't hate it. Yes, you
I did. No, I don't like the blue people. I've already said it a million times.
Either, but you said you thought that game was better than you thought. You liked the open world.
Maybe, sure. But I can't get behind the blue people. I have a real problem with Avatar.
Well, this is your problem, though. You have a problem with the source material, like Spider-Man. Why is he up in the rafters? Okay.
I'm with you. I don't really care about Avatar. I don't really care about the blue people either.
Yeah.
But I played Avatar, so I
love
ended
James
up playing
Cameron.
these two
Don't get me
games.
wrong. I think the guy's badass. I like when he's on a boat. I love when James Cameron's on a boat doing things.
Titanic.
Yeah.
Yes, when he's doing Titanic stuff and submarine shit, I'm all about that. Terminator, come on, we're all good here.
He was making an Avatar game, so he had to make the people from Avatar. That's all I'm saying.
I don't like those ethereal environment, almost like dinosaur settings. I just don't like that. I don't know why. I can't explain it. Go on.
You have a fear of
so I was gonna say, I decided to play these two games, the Outlaws and the Avatar game on Ubisoft Plus. I was like, well, I'll check that out right now. And then I figured, the Assassin's Creed's coming out in a week.
Bad.
So I figured for $18, whatever, this is 3 cool games that I could check out.
No, it's a good service because I don't have faith buying these Ubisoft games anymore. Like this.
And I know we say Ubisoft is dead. We love to say Ubisoft is dead,
exactly.
But I loved that Prince of Persia game that came out last year, that Metroidvania one. I loved it. I finished it.
That was like a little side
great.
Small team they had that actually did it though. I don't think they did it. They published it, right?
That Phoenix Rising game they did a couple years ago.
That was pretty good.
I loved that too. I finished that game too. So I like Ubisoft games, right? I do. So I figured I'd check it out. So
I liked it when they were like killing it with Tom Clancy shit. That's the problem I had with them.
Well, that's
why did they give that up?
Well, Rainbow Six is that. Rainbow Six is Tom Clancy. Let's not forget.
It's the last.
So I guess so. But those are not even the same kind of games that they used to make.
No, they used to make really tactical Ghost Recon games, and now it's an open world game like Outlaws.
And live service and all that, and
everything turned into the Division and Watch Dogs and Far Cry. Like it's all like the same fucking game.
Yeah, the
GTA
same thing
clones,
they've rehashed. Yeah, it's just reskinned or whatever. But
No, but
The Division
But,
is pretty good though. I did really get into that.
yeah, we disagreed on that. I know some people love it though.
Yeah, no.
so Star Wars
I've-
Outlaws. Did you guys play that?
I did. I see.
Yeah,
I
we
think the
had a
game's
round
better
table
than
where we all
Michelle
got in a
does.
fight.
Yeah.
John,
Oh, yeah,
so much
okay,
so
now
you
I
played
do
2
remember.
hours of it. You think the game's
No,
better?
I
Good.
played more than you. I got.
No,
I
you
got.
didn't.
Yes, I did. You never even got
didn't.
off the planet.
I did.
So no, you didn't.
I did.
Matt and I
did-
talked
did-
about
said
that whole
I didn't
scene.
I said I didn't love the
Yeah.
game.
So yeah,
because-
Michelle, I know you
so
have
I
a
don't-
problem with this girl's face, right?
Well, no, that's not even why. I was judging it as a game. I mean, John had
Yeah.
a problem with her face. He said, "Why couldn't I quote play as the hot mom?" This is a John quote.
Her
here. He
mom.
said
Her mom. No, I agree. Her mom is way more attractive than her.
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought she looked like a
Her face is
crossbreed
a little
between
bit weird.
human
I'm
and
not
an
gonna lie,
elf.
but-
It looks
Or
like a joke that someone pulled in the company.
Yeah.
like someone's like, watch
Or
this.
an Ewok.
I'm gonna.
She's like half
I'm gonna
Ewok.
get this through, and no one can question me. Right? Because
Well,
that's
it's
where
like
we
somebody
are.
like that got crazy with the chin slider or something.
Yeah, no, it
in
actually
there.
looked
I don't
weird,
know
but
what happened.
For me, I'm playing a Star Wars game. I'm going to be a little Johnish here. I want the Sith and the lightsabers and I don't care about like the shooting in a Star Wars game. I didn't like the stealth, hiding in the bush. I thought mechanically and technically the game did not feel good to me. But I thought there were some beautiful
Okay.
environments, like the environments.
So
looked
I wanted
great.
to
They had
talk
the
about
Star
the
Wars
environments.
soundstage, all
Yeah.
that stuff. But then the animations and the way
Yeah.
they talked and stuff like that didn't match up with the beautiful environment and all that shit.
Yeah, that's been my favorite part of the game. Really, is just
Yeah.
walking around looking at
Yes.
the star. Like, so I got off this planet. You land, and then they give you a speeder, and then you get to jump on this speeder, and they tell you need to go to this city. Okay, this is kind of in the first couple hours of the game, and you go there, and once I walked into the city, I was like, wow.
Yep.
This looks great.
They didn't quite pull it off though. They were trying to make that like a cyberpunk city or something.
It very much has a cyberpunk vibe.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, but in a Star Warsy way, where it feels like,
yes.
it's
more quirky.
It feels like that dirty and broken, gritty Star Wars world. But what I will say is, compared to a game like after playing a game like Spider-Man that I was just talking about, that's like glossy and shiny and the graphics in that game are killer. It really makes a game like Star Wars Outlaws, which just came out, look almost like a last gen game to me. I didn't think
Yes.
that the Star Wars environments, I mean, the Star Wars environments looked anywhere near as polished as what Spider-Man looked. And this is a newer game, right?
Yeah.
You played this on
that's my-
PC?
I did play it on PC.
yeah.
See, I
didn't
played
look
this on
good.
Xbox. I didn't think it looked total shit. See, the thing
did
is, like,
look
once I left the planet and got into space and then landed on that big starship out there,
Yeah.
that looked fucking amazing, right? Like,
Agreed.
Did you do that part? Like,
Yes.
so,
Yeah.
like, I don't think this game is as bad as Michelle thinks, and I've said this before when Matt was here. But Matt loved this game.
So I'm kind of falling in love with it. I'm not going to lie. I
like
started to do.
it's a GTA style game.
It is.
with
It is.
quests and big maps and fetch quests, and I didn't
say
like
it
the
was
stealth.
bad. I said it was average. I don't think a
Listen,
I've
I've
hate.
Well,
I've
it was.
been
It's
waiting
not
for
game of the year.
years.
Yeah.
Yes, just because I
For
say something
EA
isn't
for
game of the
s-
year doesn't mean it's bad, John. You're putting words in
Yeah.
my mouth.
No, I understand, but you guys don't understand. At the time we were talking about this with Matt, and we had a little blowout. It was being described as the biggest game ever made. Like it was. We
Yeah.
were supposed
Yeah, I don't
to,
know
like,
about that.
We were supposed
Yeah,
to fall
that's-
all over it.
Yeah, and I just don't think it's a 10. So.
Right.
I'm just happy I got a Star Wars game that's from somebody besides EA, finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
You know?
Star Wars
And
World. I
because-
want to see more games.
And me too. I love Star, and I was so happy when I started playing this that it's like, and I haven't played the whole game, so I don't know how the story opens up. But in the part that I've seen so far, that it's not the same tired Star Wars waving a lightsaber Jedi fight Darth Vader thing that we've done over and over and over again. I love that it's like I arrive in this city. I don't even have a lightsaber. I have a blaster, and I'm going around talking to these crime bosses and stealing from them.
You're
And
well,
pickpocketing.
you know,
she's supposed to be like a female Han Solo, basically, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's what she is.
but it's kind of cool how you can like develop affinities with these factions, and then you
Yes.
can choose to double
My
cross.
sister really liked that. She was like, the faction
I
system
do.
is great.
I
And
know,
it
but
really-
that's like the double cross thing maybe is unique, but all these games, all these Ubisoft games have that.
Well,
the
yeah,
factions
Ubisoft doesn't
and
bring original ideas
the
anymore.
reputation.
But if you-
I mean,
Yeah,
that,
no, this is-
like that's the whole Far
But
Cry
it's in
thing.
the
That's
Star
Ghost
Wars
Recon
world.
Wildlands.
It has the Star Wars kit,
I
so
know,
that's going
but
to be enough for a lot of
This is a
people.
Star
The
Wars
open
Assassin's
world-
Creed game,
Yes.
The
right?
open-
Exactly.
It's what it is.
Or
And that's all it
Wildlands,
needs to be.
or Wildlands.
But there's a reason it bombed,
Yeah.
and it's not
or
her
Far
face.
Cry.
But
the
do
reputations
you think
in
this is-
territories needs to go away, though.
Do you think this is? You think it really bombed? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I
It
think this
lost.
got
It did
me
not
to
do
come
well.
sign up. I think this got me to come sign up for
But
the
they put a
Ubisoft
lot of
Plus.
money
I wonder.
and time into it, and it has a Star Wars property that they paid a lot for, and it just was not a
Yeah.
success as far as sales.
But do you think it has people signing up for their service?
I think that's how I played it. So,
I think
like,
it had.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think in the long run, unless they're like John and they forget about it. I think
Yeah.
they'll probably combo it in, like you're doing, like with Assassin's Creed or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, they need to do more if they want to make the money back on a big property like this.
Yep. Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's-
Star
but
Wars
peop-
sales were reportedly softer than expected.
Yeah, it was.
Initially, it sold around 1 million copies in the first month, which is considered a very low figure for a major AAA title.
For a Star,
Yeah.
with Star Wars attached to it, especially because some people.
They
Star
were,
Wars
But I
they
don't
were
know.
here.
I
They
mean,
were,
have you guys been watching any of this news on YouTube? Everybody's talking about the next video game crash coming. So I mean, is this
games are doing better than ever. I mean, Monster Hunter just sold like
Crash.
7 million in a week. It's Western games that are failing and then blaming that they just don't like when Concord failed. Oh, they just don't like shooters. Well,
That's what
that
I'm-
same
but I-
week, this
they're
one
saying
did
that studios can't keep putting all this giant money into these games.
the
like
reason
this.
the reason they lost so much money on a lot of these games, like Concord, is because they didn't read the room properly.
Exactly.
Like,
you
Sure,
spent $400 million in 10 years making a game for an audience that doesn't exist. And games are
Right.
doing better than ever. Path of Exile
And there's a
2
news
just beat
story
Path of
that
Exile
goes
1.
along with
Monster Hunter
this.
Wilds just beat Monster Hunter
Here.
World. Like all of these
I'm gonna
sequels are
read
beating
this-
the older games because
Here,
there's more
Michelle.
gamers than ever globally. And
I'm going to read this news story that I saw today.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Sakura, who's a Nintendo guy, right?
Yeah, he created Super Smash Bros. Along with tons of stuff for Nintendo.
He says that Japanese developers should avoid trying to appeal to Western tastes.
Yeah, because the reason why Japanese games are doing so well is because they're appealing to Japanese gamers, and now that's appealing to Western gamers. They don't want them to make games like Star Wars Outlaws, basically, because then they'll fail.
It sounds like they're saying we don't need more of the same, right? We don't need more of what we already have plenty of.
Be what we make, and,
Yeah.
and they'll come. If they like the games,
For
they'll
example,
come, but don't cater to them.
I think there's a couple ways to dissect this. Okay, you look at a game like Stellar Blade, who has a hot chick with a nice ass, and
Right.
that kind of stuff just isn't in a game anymore. Okay.
Attractive
these days.
women are sort of
Right, and in
taboo
Western games,
in Western
okay,
games.
and
Yes.
everyone loves Stellar Blade because the girl's hot and they want to play her and all that
They also
stuff.
like
you
the
know,
combat and stuff, though.
and the
too.
combat's good on
It's a
top
good
of it.
game.
I know,
Yeah.
but it just wouldn't quite be the same if it was like some whatever.
it was the Fable
you know?
chick, with the face of the outlaw girl.
I mean,
Nobody would
that's
be like,
one
"Ooh, I
tiny
wanna play as this
example.
android."
I mean,
Yeah.
that is a very superficial, minute example, but it's an example,
It's a small
right?
example because look at Monster
Yes.
Hunter Wilds. There's tons of women
Yes.
and a diverse cast, and nobody had a problem with it. You have to make good games. At the end of the
Right,
day,
but
people
the thing
want
is,
good games.
okay, but the thing is though, if a Western studio was making Stellar Blade, there would be a committee that would
There
argue
wouldn't
about
be
using
sexy
the hot
outfits
girl.
that you bought. Yeah, no
Right, that's what I'm
way. They'd
saying.
say it
That's what
was
I'm saying.
That's ridiculous.
There
So-
would be a committee in a room voting
Right.
on pictures and saying, "Well, that's a
But-
little too sexual."
But what,
and,
I mean, we have Bayonetta, and that's on Nintendo. I mean, how
Yeah,
is
but
that
that's
any different, really?
Japanese.
Japanese.
That's
Yeah,
what
I
we're
guess so.
saying.
Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah,
So
it is.
yeah, I mean, the
It
little
is, isn't it?
blurb about it says his comments have ignited
Sure.
a debate among fans and commentators. Many say that his view is could be appreciating the unique cultural elements of Japanese games, and others say that it might be sort of stroking the anti-woke sentiments. He's
Yes,
sort of
that's
being
the
a little
bottom line.
based,
That's
okay.
that's the bottom line right
because
there.
he's saying
Okay.
that Japanese games should maintain their originality and appeal, which is what attract the fans in general, like the international fans, us, the Americans. We're coming to these games. Capcom just had their biggest game release ever, not because they tried to appeal to Americans, because they kept making the Monster Hunter games that everybody liked, that Japan
because
liked.
they didn't have
it's the same reason people are watching anime now,
designing
because
the
it's
game.
probably not as woke.
Right.
I hate to break it to people. Like, I don't really like anime. We're going to do another Weeb show. I always have a good time with it in May. It's not my thing, but I think we're seeing a lot of people under 30 going to anime because they're doing real stuff. They have an identity. It's being true, right? The art, whatever. It's just, it's not this. So
it's
I think
not
we're kind
designed by a committee. That's the bottom line.
Somebody else just came out and said that. They said, stop designing by committee. I was going to put the article in, John. I think I forgot.
I think
it was
the games
another
are so
person.
big that, I mean, how do you make a game that, like, you know, as huge as Star Wars Outlaws without a giant committee of people?
How do you make Wukong with 10 people that went to 100?
Because it's called designed by dictatorship.
You get
talented
people.
I know that's not
like how Steve Jobs used to
yes.
run this ship, right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
How did 10,000 people are listed as working on Diablo 4? How did PoE 2 get made by a few hundred people?
You get a guy with a solid or girl with a solid vision, and you don't back off that vision by a fucking inch, okay?
You don't say, what's Jimmy in Ohio going to think of this? What's Sally in the Bronx
and then you
think of this?
find people to help execute the decision, the vision, and if they're not on board, then they're not on board. Goodbye. This is my vision.
Yep.
You know,
I've been
just
saying
today,
this
though,
for 10 years, Michelle.
Who's the guy who they had direct the Last of Us 2? The director for Last of Us 2. I just heard something about him the other day.
Is that him?
Yeah, whatever his name is. Yeah, they were talking about how he runs the Naughty Dog like a dictator now, and they were saying that that's why
the games do well.
Last of Us 2. Well, they were saying that's why Last of Us 2 maybe wasn't as great as the first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the argument that was being made.
Wasn't there a George Lucas situation
they're saying
where
that
they
Naughty
need to be
Dog
kept in
used
check?
to. Yeah.
You know?
What do you mean, George Lucas?
Well, he went a little crazy with Jar Jar Binks, I've heard.
Yeah, exactly, because he's a dictator. He's a fucking dictator.
Right, but people like the changes.
Guess what? We all remember Jar Jar. Do you remember Jar Jar? I remember Jar Jar.
I remember Jar Jar. I didn't like Jar Jar Binks. But looking back at those old Star Wars movies, they were better than the new ones,
I don't want to remember him.
They were better than the new ones. Okay,
no. Listen,
forget Jar Jar.
The last three.
John, do not stick up for Jar Jar Binks. Okay, come on.
I'm telling you, I'd rather watch episode 1 through 3 than any of the garbage that came out the last 20 years.
I wish I could remember. Maybe someone will know in the chat. There was just a video game developer that came out and said the problem with games now is people are not sticking to their vision and they're designing by committee. And I said, there we go again. That same theme coming up, right? So, but for the most part, just do what you want.
I don't know. I
think
we can say that the problem is that the vision thing or the woke thing or whatever, but for me, I think the problem is a lot of times these games are made to make dollars, not to be fun. Sure. You know, it's like the people just think, oh, we're going to put this game out and we're all going to get rich.
Yep.
Yeah, hours of engagement. That's it. And it's like,
look at it. How much money did we make? Like it might have bombed,
instead
but look at
of
all
it
the money
being
we
like
made.
People who really love games saying we're going to make something that's fun to play.
Right, and that's why we've had a lot of huge indie games, right? That we would, like Balatro or something, like games that were made by one guy or whatever, and that wouldn't, like 10, 15 years ago, it wouldn't have got as much talk. A small indie game.
No.
And Michelle, we weren't really covering those games as much back then, right?
Well, it's easier to make games now. It's easier to get together. It's easier to publish. And you're getting
I think since the iPhone, we've got a lot of indie developers.
World was made by 20 people and it overtook Pokemon. Yeah. Okay?
Right.
Whatever. You don't need a lot of people anymore to make fantastic AAA games. And you get quadruple A games from Skull and Bones. You get quadruple A games from people.
And we've all learned too, in the last 10 years or so, that a game doesn't need to run on the most slickest 3D graphic engine with ray tracing to be creative and unique and fun, like Balatro, you know, as
not
at all.
That's the issue. I don't think it's the issue. And I don't think the issue is like there's not enough gamers anymore. There's
what
a
I'm
gaming
saying
crash.
is when we started doing this podcast, we weren't covering really small team games. That's been a thing the last I think since iPhone,
from AAA
since iOS.
It's now
I think since iOS.
Indie.
I think since iOS, a lot of indie studios were born, and I think that's kind of where it all started. For these,
yeah. I don't buy into the gaming crash, and it's because
I don't
there's
either.
games doing better than ever, and their studios are looking for
And
something
also,
to blame instead of
there's
themselves.
never going to be a gaming crash because there's always going to be Steam and all these small studios that are going to be keep releasing games, right? So what does the gaming crash
We're
mean?
breaking sales records left and right. Concurrent player records going up in Steam every week. Like there's new.
But why do we keep seeing these big studios fold then?
Because we just talked about why.
Making shit games like Star Wars Outlaws. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Like Ubisoft is going
and
to be
Concord
sold.
and
exactly
and all that because
so,
they're all
but then
these
what
corporations
companies are
captured.
replacing them? What,
The
who's
Chinese
replacing
and
them?
Japanese.
Chinese games, Korean games. The Western gaming is the type of games they're making with the type of hires they have, the way they pay people in this country, whatever. Like the talent has shifted to other industries like fintech, like advertising. Like you're not getting the talent because a lot of these games are being made. And it's not even about the activists or the woke thing. They're just being made by people that aren't like hardcore gamers and talented people that are like driven anymore. They're not. And they're like
victims
said, John,
and they're in a studio and they feel entitled to inject their whatever into the game. And
they're being subjected to crunch.
Oh, shut up with that, Jason Schreier.
Well, see, other countries embrace crunch and they actually want to be there. You guys, if you've ever known a developer, they want to work on something and get that shit done. And here they bitch and moan and cry.
Just stop about crunch. I mean, crunch got us to the moon. All right, just stop.
Crunch,
it, all right?
Crunch is when you're laying down a railroad. Okay.
Yeah, whenever I do something awesome, it's usually because I've been doing a lot of crunch.
Exactly.
To that awesome thing.
But it's just it's like victim mentality. Oh, we had to work so hard on this game.
You're right.
The culture shift at these places has driven a lot of people with talent into other industries, and they're getting paid better there. So that is a concern.
Or they're opening their own indie studios and making Blotro.
They're breaking off. They're doing their own thing, and they're seeing that you can get 10 people together and make a game that's bigger than Pokemon. Because you don't need the big studios anymore. But it's really an East versus West thing right now. That's the culture shift we're seeing, and it's going to. I don't think we're going back. The only people holding on to it, like, are some Sony Santa Monica games coming out, John, like Astrobot. But was Astrobot made by Japan? Small Japanese studio? Yeah. So not even there. I don't know.
Yes, it was made by Japan. Japan made it.
Japan, the country itself, made Astrobot. No, I'm concerned because, like, the quote, like we've been saying, John, the Xbox dude bro kind of seems dead. But I think Doom's going to do well and look good and be great. But I am concerned about where gaming is going just because I don't want to see these companies, even Ubisoft that we grew up playing and loving and talking about in the show. I mean, I don't want them to go away. I want these properties to come back in a good way, but I need more.
Well, what do you think is going to happen
Outlaws.
with this Ubisoft Plus service? You think this is going to be a flop? You think this is still going to be around
for
a year?
A couple years.
Yeah.
People want to own their games in their Steam library on PC at least. I don't know what's going on console. Can you do it on console now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's new. You could only do it on PC when it first launched. I think that's important. And I think they need to merge.
I've done it on Xbox. You have to get Ubisoft Premium.
Okay.
But is it only... can you download it directly to the Xbox and play it? Or is it only streaming on Xbox?
No, it's download.
You can downloadable?
Yeah.
Okay. That's new because when it first launched,
That's not that new. I played Star Wars on my Xbox.
New is in like a year or two, I think, because well, look at when it launched. There were people pissed off. They wrote into us. I could find the email and find the exact time. And they said, I'm a little jealous of PC because you guys can get the Ubisoft service.
April 2023. It's been 2 years.
Okay, so it's new.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that it's newish, like I said. Yeah, that you can do this on console now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's newish. That's what I said. That you can do it on console now. And I think I said ish, you dumb fuck. Okay.
I said ish too.
And so did I. So you're arguing something
so
stupid.
We're both saying ish. So what's the problem?
But you're the one saying
you can say ish, but I can't say ish.
This has been 20 years we've been doing this.
Sorry.
You
can say ish, but I can't say ish. I get it.
We can both say ish, okay? But
okay, so what's the problem? We both say ish.
So my initial ish was correct.
So my ish is somehow an insult to your ish.
Western AAA may have a big problem if they don't start looking at making smaller games to help reinvest in what they think of AAA. AAA game does take too long.
Well, they do that, like the Prince of Persia game that we just talked about with you play with Ubisoft, right?
I didn't say
I loved that.
Better. Zabum, it made more money at the time during that launch week. Like it was more popular.
All right, what else?
You don't need a lot of people to make a AAA game.
So I mean that's. I was just gonna say about that Avatar game. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to that one. I'm gonna go back to Star Wars. The Avatar game. I don't know. Wasn't my thing. It's
another open world game with factions.
Yeah, another
Yeah, they
open world
risked
game
it.
probably.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Avatar game suffered from for me. It was like when I was like, okay, I'm gonna check this game out. I started it up, 25 minutes of cutscenes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it drops you into a character creator. Okay, so all right. So now I'm
design
creating a
your
character.
A
Yeah,
blue
designing my
character.
tail and my face, whatever. And then you go from 25 minutes of cutscenes, character creator, and then the first action sequence that it starts you with is literally running through like a ship basement full of pipes for like 20 minutes, just
Yeah,
running through
I recall.
pipes. And then,
then you
after
go
an
outside.
an hour and 20 minutes, finally, we're down on the planet outside. And then, actually, I was impressed. I think the game looked really pretty.
I think that's the memory I have the most is when I got outside finally. But then I had to go to some base and stealthily kill some dudes.
Same. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm going to bed.
Right, because it's all they can fucking do with this shit. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so what are you
I don't
drinking?
So I'm drinking a Waterloo lemon lime.
Okay. All right, I want to talk about some news here, Michelle. I find this news story to be very interesting. Okay,
Okay.
you ready for
Quite
this?
the setup.
Now,
Yeah, let's hear it.
if you can remember, Jack Cryan was upset with Phil
Jack?
when he bought. What was his name? Tom? Phil?
Jim Ryan.
Jim Cryan.
Jim,
Sorry,
Yeah.
Jim
Cryan.
Cryan. That's
That's
it.
right.
So when Jim Cryan was crying about Phil wanting to buy Activision,
Yeah.
he was saying that it would take them like 10 years to make their own Call of Duty if Xbox owned Call of Duty, and it wasn't
It's
fair.
going to take us 10 years.
Right?
Yeah. Well.
Now listen
I
to
mean-
this. Sony has a new first-party studio
Yep.
within PlayStation Studios. And guess who the studio head and director is? A former
Treyarch.
co-studio head lead of Treyarch.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the lead creators
That's
of
interesting.
Call of Duty Zombies. So, what's going on here?
So
Are they making their own?
make a game for PC and PlayStation to take out COD?
I'm sure that's a conversation at
Yeah.
some point, right? So they hire a guy from Treyarch who like practically created zombies on Call of Duty.
They
What
got
do
a
you
little
think
bit of that
about this?
Helldivers taste, John, like you said, for shooters,
Yeah.
for that PC launch with the not just the story games, the Sony story games. I think Sony wants to branch out. And I think that
Yeah.
this is a perfect guy to do it with. Yeah.
And what he said in an interview was the studio is called Dark Outlaw. That's what it's going to be called. And he says we've been working away in the shadows for a while.
Wow.
Yeah, this is some skunk work stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got something to talk about. We'll step out into the light.
They think they are fucking Batman. What is going on with these people?
Right.
Well, I hope it's not a Concord situation. Well, we've been working on this for 10 years. It's $500 million.
Right.
Here it is. And then it goes away. I mean, I'd like some competition for COD, John, because
Bring back, okay, what if they bring back SOCOM and they have this guy run it? I think
do
SOCOM
people
is a
even
great.
know what SOCOM is?
It doesn't.
I mean, John, do you care? I mean, you're the Call of Duty guy. I mean, does that
Right.
get you excited when you say that?
Okay, so it does get me excited because I actually did like SOCOM. Okay, on the
Okay.
PS5. I mean, on the PS3. It was one of the reasons, if probably the main reason I bought the PS3 when I did, because I wanted to play fucking SOCOM.
A lot of people did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
popular.
I think the name SOCOM and the brand of that, I mean, that's based on a branch of the military. It's a real thing. I think it's a pretty fucking solid, manly name for a shooter, right? It's like
Yeah.
United States Special Operations Command.
Is that what
Come
sells
on.
now? Manly? I mean, I think it's like we
For
said,
Call of
Nicki
Duty.
Minaj
Well,
skin and
well, Battlefield, the next Battlefield supposedly is going to be straight up military, no bullshit, no
Yep.
stupid skins and all that crap.
Mhm.
So if Call of Duty goes too crazy, which they already have, it's kind of too late, to be honest. Like, they just went to Fortnite. And I think they might have lost a little bit of their soul. I think the gameplay's still there. But
you like the
there is some-
Treyarch CODs, right? Didn't you?
No, I like the Infinity Ward better.
Oh, okay.
Modern
Well-
Warfare is my jam. That's a little more slow. That's a little more tactical. And there's doors, usually, on the maps that you can close. So that's a big part of Matt and I's strategy. And we have synchronized loadouts.
I mean, PlayStation, like I said, we were just talking about East versus.
They like to
I know,
go
I'm
into
not
the
even
room
going
together
there.
and
He
close
just
the
told
door.
me during our Discord podcast yesterday that he cooked dinner for him. Okay, so you know what's going on over there, John.
It's very bromantic.
Yeah.
It is. It was very bromantic. So I know you guys share a loadout and loads.
No, we
You
have
guys
synchronized
cook
loadouts.
You synchronize loads. Yeah, that's what
synchronized
it's called.
loadouts.
And
You
it's
time
all
it. 3, 2, 1,
happening
go.
behind closed doors.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we close the doors. We can
Okay.
like in
I
Modern
get
Warfare.
it.
We can close the doors. We're in a
Right.
room.
You guys
we
camp
listen for
together.
footsteps. We've
Yep.
got claymores out there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are the maps I like the most.
Okay, of course.
I don't know. Listen, I would love, and I've said this a million times. Let's bring back Killzone. Let's bring back SOCOM. There's another Resistance, Fall of Man. Let's go back to the Browell on the PlayStation and let's do it. What do you think, Michelle?
I mean, we just
I
talked
don't
about
play
the
any
East
of these
versus
games,
West
Michelle.
thing.
Do you play any of those games?
I play Siege. That's like the only shooter I like left. I mean,
Yeah.
I play like I don't know. I don't play as many shooters as John. Like you just went crazy over a bunch. Gray Zone, Delta Force.
Yeah, Green
like-
Zone's amazing.
So
Oh my
you
God.
love shooters, and
So
I feel
good.
like a lot of people do. Some people just play shooters. Like it's the only thing they play. So there's always going to be a market for it. Like Valorant's one of the biggest games ever, and my friends
Right.
still play Counter
Well,
Strike.
Counter-Strike, clearly.
This shooters are not going to go. There's room in the market. I've never loved COD like John, but I think we were just talking about the East versus West thing. Like if anybody's going to do it, like I have some faith in Sony that like they
Right.
can do something decent. Although I say that, and then look what happened with Concord.
I mean, Sony does great work. I mean,
yeah,
they're definitely capable of making something awesome.
Yeah, like if you told me EA's making a new shooter or even Ubisoft at this
Yeah,
point,
that would
I'd
have
be like,
me worried too.
Yeah, maybe a little
Yeah.
worried, but I feel like let's go in with an open mind. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to step out into the light, John, or whatever they said. Now, we
Yeah.
talked last week about the Xbox handheld,
Yes.
and more stuff came out, John. You
no,
think we figured
it's
it
horrible. It's
Why?
it's bad. It's stupid. It's dumb as shit.
out? Why?
It's not. It's just a fucking Windows handheld. There's nothing
That's
about
what you
it.
knew. Let's not get into this conversation. It's launching with the Windows version of Xbox. You said that.
Yeah,
you were pretty
exactly.
much
It's
right.
not. It's not even a fucking Xbox though. You can't play your Xbox library on it.
But
Only
what is an Xbox?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what they're.
It's a computer. So,
No. But it's not yet. Okay. There
They
are.
have synced accounts.
Hang on. Okay. There is a list of Play Anywhere games. Okay. These are the games that work on the console and the PC, and it all syncs together. Okay. It's not the complete
full
list of
library
game.
yet.
It's not the full library. Okay.
That's a
So-
mistake. Yeah.
So this device, Michelle, is not this new Windows version for a handheld. It's just literally
It is a
just-
Windows. It is a handheld version of Windows. It's just not an old Xbox console purely imported. Yeah.
yeah, it's not. It's a PC.
have they said anything about the specs on it? Like, do we know what kind of processor it's going to have?
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No.
They didn't say anything about that.
But I was really disappointed when I read this because I had hopes that there was going to be some juice in this somehow.
What
Where
juice?
I just-
What is with you with What juice? What juice? Phil juice? What's the Xbox juice? What juice are you looking for? They've got Windows juice.
Okay, that's all they had then. Then this is the writing's
Yeah.
on the wall right here.
They've got
the future
an
is
easy
The
way to
future's
play
Windows. The future's
they've got an
Windows.
easy way
and
to play
guess
Game
what? I
Pass.
got news for you.
Game Pass is the Trojan horse, John. You're forgetting that. Like Game Pass is
I
getting
know.
better and setting themselves up.
But you
for
can
an even
already
better future.
do this on all the other Asus handhelds.
You can.
What is new?
But no Xbox gamer is going to go, let me
There's
go buy that
nothing new.
Asus handheld. And I know you Southerners yell at
what
me when
is
I do a
this
Southern voice.
Asus shit? I
We're
ain't
just
buying
having fun.
no
We do all
Asus.
sorts of voices around here. Okay, I do Jersey.
What are you
I do it
talking
all.
about?
Okay, because that's where I'm from. Look, I'm saying, John, that you're going to get an Xbox console user to pick up one of these things. They'll never pick up that new Asus.
It's the
handheld
same as
PC.
the ROG
It doesn't
that's
matter.
on
Do you
in Best
understand
Buy right
marketing?
now.
Do you know what marketing is? It's going to have an Xbox button. It's going to be green. Okay, it's going
it's
to launch right into the
lame.
handheld Windows. You're going to
Lame.
get. The marketing is going to work, though, compared to a handheld PC. That's very intimidating to the average Xbox console gamer who's never touched a PC
But
before.
it is.
It doesn't
handheld
matter.
PC.
It's marketing.
But that's what it is.
It's marketing. It's just marketing, though, right? That's what they're doing. Make it
handheld
green. They'll buy it.
Ish.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
If it eventually lets you
That-
use the PC Game Pass
It's a
app, you can
handheld
remote
PC
play on
that
your
can
console.
only
That's
play
true.
half of the Xbox games. It sounds like.
What is
I
an
don't.
Xbox?
Well, they. Okay.
That's
so
why
there's
they're
a
pushing
there's
it's
a
just a screen.
Yeah, it's just a screen.
Okay, they've been pushing the number of Xbox Play Anywhere games, and I believe the number is around over 1,000.
But look, that is one of the great things about Xbox, as much as I tease them.
Yeah.
The fact that you can play your games easily cross-play, and Sony's not doing that. They're not saying, hey, you know what, if you have Spider-Man on Steam, you can go, get it on your PlayStation, Like, they're not doing that one account thing, so...
Yeah, so Mike, okay, again, if you want to piece the pieces together of this puzzle, Michelle...
Right.
Microsoft last week announced there are now over 1,000 titles supporting Xbox Play Anywhere. So,
which you love, John.
Put the pieces together. That is a direct link to this handheld.
Yeah,
okay?
And I'm saying the average gamer, the average Xbox user might think that that's appealing if they can play handheld and console in one account.
Right. But if you only buy this as your main, I'm just curious.
I just think, John, you were so looking forward to an Xbox handheld, and now you're shitting on it because you can actually do more.
Well, I think John's mad because it's not made by Xbox.
Yeah, he wanted Phil's.
Do you want it to be made by Xbox? That's what you want, right?
Yes.
What's not exciting to me about it is that I was hoping for. I know that you would disagree with this. I wanted it to be an actual console. I wanted it to be a console.
You wanted no way to put Steam on it.
Well, I wanted it to be maybe like Steam Deck, or if you wanted to get nerdy.
So you wanted to have two devices where you each do one thing on them. This could be the one device to rule them all for the average gamer. Yeah, like, I don't know. You're not going to get what you want because you're always going to get screwed. And this device could be what people want. Maybe not all of your Xbox games are there right away, John, but I think Xbox is looking to the future to do that.
I know that's the goal. It has to be the goal.
Yes, that's their goal, and it's actually a really honorable one in a way because that's the strategy that's going to let them win. They aren't going to win with selling exclusives and hardware sales. They're going to win with your account, with Game Pass, with cross-play, cross-progression, being open, putting your games everywhere. Like, that philosophy is going to set Xbox up in the long run. I know I sound like an Xbox person right now, and I'm not, but I think Michelle, that's where they're going.
Michelle, why doesn't Steam create a competitor for Game Pass? Why isn't there a Steam Pass?
Because I don't think they want to do that.
To me, it seems like a no-brainer, though.
Right?
I mean, I would sign up. I would sign up for it immediately.
Well,
I know.
I don't really disagree with that comment at all. Like a statement.
Because it goes against their philosophy there.
Yeah.
Like, in a way where it's like, I don't know. Not that it's unfair.
I just think that they already own PC gaming.
But Steam does have a reputation, though, I believe, of not nickel and diming people.
Yeah, they want to be an open market.
Yeah, definitely. And the transparency.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, I think it could be there. And they want you to build your library and, and have it faith that it's going to go forward for 20 years. So I think it could be it, but I agree with you. I probably would. I mean, there's indie games every week I want to try.
And I mean, Steam Deck, can you imagine a Steam Deck with Steam Pass and Game Pass on there? I mean, you live in the dream.
You like these passes. You're loving these Ubisoft premium passes.
Well, I do like these passes because I'm finding that like I'm sick of paying $60, $80 every time I want to try something. And then I end up playing it for 2 hours.
Of the games, like when they're only these throwaway disposable entertainment is the problem with why Netflix movies suck a lot worse than the big blockbuster movies we got. Like that is my concern. Like, but there's enough games
now, and I want it
days.
Cheap.
Yeah, and I hear you, but I mean, for somebody like you may also like going back to games. That's usually when you can get them cheaper. Like you did bring up Star Wars Outlaws just as an example. It is $30 on CD keys, like on PC, and I don't know how much it is on Steam. You said it was like holding the value, but like if you open yourself
it's still
up
holding
to, like,
value, and the premium edition still expensive.
Yeah, see the Star Wars IP, but a lot of times
I went and checked CD keys. I think when I looked at it,
there. I think.
Oh, it was cheaper. It was more expensive when I looked at it.
Yeah, we actually have a key to give away, so stay tuned if you're looking to play Outlast.
Cool.
But no, I think like a lot of times if you wait on PC, games are like half price. The only thing that really holds the value, it seems like, are Nintendo games. Like, I don't know, John. Like, I was looking at one of them, like, it was still 60. Like, some of the, like,
they don't
4 years old, right?
So I want to, there's an article on Eurogamer.net, not to prolong this conversation, but this is kind of, maybe I am looking at this backwards, okay? The future of Xbox. So this article says, if the Xbox handheld is years away, what's the point of Project Keenan? And they're suggesting that this is the crucial first step in bringing Windows and Xbox together.
Yeah, I think it's a stepping stone.
The future is not a consoleized Xbox. The future is a true Windows Xbox.
Well, imagine they put Windows on your Xbox in the living room, and now kids go, well, do I buy a PlayStation? I only have PlayStation games. Or do I get an Xbox because I can get all my Steam games, which
But
PlayStation
do the kids also
anyway,
say, can I put a mouse and keyboard in here and then go on Pornhub and whatever they do? Like, what?
Pornhub.
Like, or can
living room gaming is stagnant.
How is what you're talking about different than just being a PC? If you're talking about an Xbox
I know, but
with Windows on it,
this is what I'm saying. Maybe I'm looking at this backwards. The future for the handheld should never be an Xbox. The handheld and the console, it's the console that needs to turn into PC.
But handheld and PC games are going up, and living room console sales are flat. Mobile's also going up.
So the answer then is
that's
that
why they're doing that.
The Xbox console turns into a PC console, and this here is the first step with the PC handheld, right? And then 2-3 years from now, they're both on the same plane. But one's got to make the step first, right? And this is the first step, right? This makes sense now if I look at it this way, right?
I don't know.
But I still can't get my head around if the console in the living room is a PC. Do you plug a mouse and keyboard into it? Do you start doing your taxes on it? You know, do you watch porn on it? Like, does it become a PC? Like, strictly, really a PC? Do you do all those things?
I don't know what you're asking.
What I'm asking is it a PC then? Is it just a PC? That's all it is.
It is.
I
think it is.
That's all. Because the difference here is Steam Deck is great, but it's still Linux. And while some people prefer that, for the average user, the average console user, the thought of having to
But if I wanted to, Michelle, I could do my taxes on the Steam Deck. I could watch porn on the Steam Deck. I could do all those things. You're very attached. You
could also watch porn on your phone.
Look, for myself, I'm not interested really in buying any more Xboxes or PlayStations. I've got my PC now. It plays all the same games.
I'm not. And people call me a snob, but it's like I just don't want to do it. I don't handheld game though. If I handheld gamed, would I look at a handheld PC or an Xbox handheld PC, or would I get a Steam Deck? Steam Deck is great, but the one complaint people have is I can't easily get out of Windows as easily as I would like to play in Ubisoft Plus, to play in Xbox Game Pass, to play in these other places. Now, if you have a little bit of, John, you said you lost your SD card, okay, but
why are those things so small?
Okay, let's not go here again. Did
that's
you want to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 experience that's coming to Dallas?
Well, I was going to say I'm done buying consoles, but I'm definitely getting a Switch 2.
Okay, so
now Michelle, I want to talk about this patent. though.
All right, let's talk about it.
Okay, so they filed a patent on November 26, 2024. Okay.
All right.
And this is a United States patent application publication. And Section 54 states, this is a patent for systems and methods for machine-learned image conversion.
Okay.
Here's the abstract.
DLSS?
A computer system is provided for converting images through use of trained neural network. A source image is divided into blocks, and context data is added to each pixel block.
So is this their own version?
The context blocks are split into PSSR. Channels, and each channel from the same context block is added to the same activation
John, you know what
matrix.
This means if they filed a patent.
The action matrix is then executed.
I feel like my head's going to explode.
Okay, listen, the action matrix is then executed against a trained... But listen to this, though.
My eyes are bleeding.
Just let's... Listen to this, though.
Can you not read it like a Nazi and maybe we'll tune in? I don't know what's happening over there.
The action matrix is then executed against a trained neural network to produce a changed activation matrix. The changed activation matrix is then used to generate a converted image. Now, Michelle, the action matrix is then executed against a trained neural network. Does this mean the upscaling is happening through the internet?
No.
I hope not.
The action matrix is then executed against a trained neural network.
Well, this is a patent of something that doesn't exist for them.
It's something that could exist like in a month.
They're going to have, but it could be part of like their Nintendo Online service. This is going to be specifically Nintendo.
This is DL. Okay, just...
It's not, though,
let's cut
because they wouldn't
no.
have a patent for it. They're not going to call it
Well-
that. Just like PlayStation is using. Okay, so okay.
Yes, I know. They
PlayStation
have their
used
own thing.
FSR. They have their own proprietary version of FSR, PSSR, but it's really just a version of FSR that they work with AMD on.
This
right?
could be, but these
this could
guys
be
got NVIDIA
Nintendo's
juice,
version,
though.
right? Nintendo
Yeah.
could have worked with NVIDIA to have a Nintendo version of DLSS that needed a patent, and it's going to have a new name like Nintendes or something, or I don't know, call it whatever you want. All right, it's going to have. This is going to be some new thing they're going to talk about.
Oh, by the way, just so we're clear too, this application is an amendment for a patent application that was initially filed on 2020. And then it was revised in 2022. It was revised in 2023. And then it was revised yet again, November
you think
2024.
Nintendo's going to be getting into like cloud AI? Like, what are you thinking?
Well, I don't know. What is a neural network? Is that on the device? A neural network?
No.
Not on your Switch.
That's got to mean that's got to be some kind of AI server agent or something.
Exactly.
like that.
A trained neural network. That's not in your pocket.
Right, but we don't know the way they're using
I
the
wouldn't think so.
term. It could just be something with
A
their Nintendo
computer
Online
system
service
is
where an AI
provided for converting images through use of a trained neural network.
Okay.
Michelle, unpack
Right.
that.
Well, let's look at the replies. What are people saying under it?
They're saying it's
All
juice.
this is- it's AI resolution upscaling. It's happening, folks. That's what it says. It's happening.
Yeah, it is happening.
Then they've got a little. Did you look at the diagram? Render image to 540p. Prepare the image. Input data. Did you look at this little chart here?
I did. It's a flow chart. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. What do you
Here-
think
all
of
right,
this flow
let's
chart?
go-
Because this is where the juice is happening.
Okay, let's go through the flow chart real quick, guys. Okay.
No, let's
So,
not.
We're going to render the image. We're going to render the image first, okay?
Okay,
Get
I'll
out a
put the chart.
whiteboard and a marker.
Okay,
and let John draw this up.
Okay, listen, when we render this, we're going to spit out a 540p image, okay? Now, this image, obviously, we don't want to display.
Now, is that
so we
the
need
resolution of the Switch?
No, it's 1080. So
Right, but that's the
We're not-
ending is 1080. Where's the 540 originally coming from?
well, it's the upscaling. The game's
So,
running at
Do
540.
you
It
think
upscales to
Do you
1080.
think the Switch is not going to have any local upscaling?
Well, it says run neural network. Where is the neural network? Is it in your pocket?
I think it's going to have upscaling on the chip too.
Where
some way.
is a neural network located?
I think it's going to have a fancy Nintendo name. They're not going to read DLSS. It's too
All right,
complicated for people.
neural networks are computational models inspired by the human brain, consisting
it's
of interconnected
Jargon that
nodes.
could mean anything for them.
It's
all I'm saying.
consisting of interconnected nodes that process data and make predictions.
Yeah, so it's sort of doing that when it's up
Frame generation. Yeah.
Yes.
It's-
So it will be
it's
done
creating
locally on the
pixels.
Switch as well. I believe it will have some sort of proprietary Nintendo meets NVIDIA upscaling tech that we'll hear about.
So
But they're
maybe
never
this
gonna
is
put that
local
in the
because
forefront
here's an
because
example. Neural networks are used in self-driving cars to detect objects on the road. So there's no
it's
cloud
reading it
doing
live.
that.
Well, no, I think don't those cars
Yes,
communicate
they're-
over the internet?
Yeah, they're 100% connected,
But
they're
fast
also,
enough to detect a cat in the road?
It's instant.
I think so. Yeah.
It's probably both.
Oh,
but I don't know what they're going to have.
But yeah, no, I think that those cars are networked.
Self-driving Switch, yeah. I don't know, John. I know you're thinking like the Switch is coming out, shadow launch. Like there's been rumors that they're going to have them ready for January. People are
we
saying now.
read a news story, or I read it.
Yeah.
There's like 400,000 of them on the water from China or wherever their factory is.
Okay.
So yeah, I think a May or June release date, I think is possible based on that.
I think June.
Yeah, I think
That's
June too. I think
that's my guess.
so. There is speculation because May 15th is when the San Francisco Nintendo store is opening,
Okay.
and people are saying that is when the Switch 2 is going to release.
Makes sense.
So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't get why. I guess like there's some people are just
Hmm.
anti, and I don't want to get into the emulation talk. Like, why, John? Like you're.
Well,
so
I mean, do you
hyped for
think
the
we're
Switch.
going to be able to emulate Switch 2 right off the bat?
Yeah, it's
No.
basically going to be a more powerful Switch. I bet it'll be up.
Well,
pretty
I think
soon.
they're going to have to crack the key situation on it first. I don't know. I'll be surprised if we're able to emulate it immediately. I think Nintendo saw
But
what happened this
immediately.
last go round, and they're going to make it harder and harder to do that.
Are you
they have
excited to play
right?
Mario Kart right away? What game right away do you need cracked? And by the way, you can buy a copy of it too, so you could still own it. But like, what?
I don't know if they
Mario
release
Kart
with
guy?
Mario Kart. I don't even know if I care. You know,
Okay.
I don't
That's what I was
care.
I
I'm
was
a
gonna
Zelda
ask.
guy. I'm
Okay.
looking for a new Mario Odyssey 2. You know,
Well, that's what I want. I mean,
yeah.
okay, listen.
See, games that run on the Switch.
I mean, do you
will run on
think
the
that they
Switch
might
too, so they're the
surprise
same
us
kind of-
with it? Do you think they might surprise us with an Odyssey 2?
I would love a new Animal Crossing, but
There's
I don't think we're
rumors.
going to get anything
Yeah.
fun
I
like
find
that.
it very hard. Okay, so I think Mario Kart being a launch title is
good.
probably pretty
It's a
likely.
good move for them, but it's just
But-
most
but-
of our listeners
And
aren't crazy for it.
because of that,
Yeah.
You know,
there's no way in hell there's also a Mario Odyssey 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're going to space
yeah. I
that
guess
shit.
they can't roll it all out at one time.
Yeah, they're going to
They gotta-
space that shit out. So
They
Yeah.
need a big Christmas launch or whatever.
Yeah.
But somebody was saying January,
Right.
so I don't know if that's wrong. But if it's that far off, does that take away some of your hype for it for both of you guys? Because you're like both excited for it.
it's not January. There's no
Okay.
way.
Somebody, I think Cece was saying. I don't
No.
want to put it words
I think
in his
it's
mouth,
going to
but-
be June.
I thought CC said that he thought the shadow drop was likely.
Okay. Well,
I just read that.
check our subs area because somebody was saying could maybe be ready by January, unless it was a typo. But I feel like how many
April
will there
2nd, we're going to be
be?
streaming.
No, you'll be.
Um,
Well, I'll be streaming, just not live. How many will there be? Will there be enough for everybody?
That's what they say.
Scalpers until January, until Christmas. Okay, Stone says Cece just said sooner than later on the podcast.
I think they're going to be hard to get.
Yeah, that's my concern here because
Everything,
I thought-
everything's hard to get.
I thought Nintendo came out and said they were going to do some.
they got a lot ready
I don't know
or
what
something.
I don't know what they could possibly do, to be honest. Besides,
Yeah.
like forcing you to have a Nintendo account and you
Yep.
can only order from them. Like,
Well, I mean, I have a Nintendo account. I'd love to have first dibs.
I agree.
You
I mean,
know?
Sony did something like that, you know. So
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's good. Steam did it too. Steam Deck, making sure you had
Yeah,
the older
so
accounts got
if you-
serviced first.
Nintendo Online, if you're a subscriber, you're first in line. I'm okay
Okay.
with that. Will people be
Yeah.
mad?
I'm into it.
I
Screw
don't
'em.
think so because even if I wasn't a subscriber, I would say that it's just trying to be done to curb bots and
Right.
scalpers. So I
Yeah.
think it's understandable.
And Steam, if you remember, Michelle, Steam, to get a Steam Deck, you had an account over X amount of
Certain
months or
amount of
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want people just making ones and slamming
That
the system.
day.
So it's understandable. Yeah. There
That
was an
kinda
article
worked,
just before
actually.
we get out of here. Last one,
Yeah.
Bloomberg said that even though it could be $400 or more, they predict it being, selling like hotcakes, obviously, and being the biggest launch ever for Nintendo. I don't know. We'll see. I hope you can get one, both of you guys, and they have enough. And it's just some small shipment before the big Christmas rush.
Right.
But we don't know anything yet. We'll find out more April 2nd.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
that
in.
what-
I'm in on it.
All right. Well,
I'm
that's
actually
exciting.
pretty excited. And honestly, if this is a spring or summer release, boy, my deck mode 2025 looks pretty good. So
with your 12 devices, your Xbox handheld, your Steam Deck, your Switch 1 and 2, whatever. All right, so we're going to get out of here.
And I
So
have a
anything
TV
you
now I
want
bring
to
out there. Yeah.
Share or tell people where they can check you out, or do you want people to just say hi to you in Discord? Anything? This is your time.
Just come on down to come on down to the VGO Discord and hang out. I just joined about a month ago, and everybody's super friendly. I came in and I just said, "Hey guys, I'm new here," and everybody was like, "Hey, what's up? Thanks for joining." So if you come down, don't be shy. Say hi. I don't have anything to promote. I'm here as an outsider. So
Well, good.
name's
We'll-
Zoltan. Catch me on Discord. I'll be over there.
Great.
We will. We'll be
Thanks,
chatting
ma'am.
with you more. Thanks for joining us. We had a good time. If you want to tell Zoltan,
Oh,
you
I had
loved
a blast,
the
guys.
show, or give us some feedback, tell us how wrong I was, or John was, or Zoltan was. Come on down, yell at
Ish.
us. Yell at us for ish. You can check us out at videogameoutsiders.com. We do have that Discord where we do weekly giveaways from cdkeys.com. We also are doing weekly bonus shows and the whole. What else? Ad-free VGO is in there if you support in Discord. So you can also get the app on iOS and Android for $1.99 where you can get the whole 20-year back catalog. That's a whole other beast. John, I just met one of our new listeners in Discord that said they were overwhelmed by the amount of shows out there. Like Zoltan was saying, you could go back and listen for thousands of hours or whatever, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
It's
can do
crazy.
that too if you want to go back
So-
and dig through that mess. But that's it. We'll see you next week with Matt for the Assassin's Creed Roundtable.
All right. Listen, everyone,
Cheers,
thanks
guys.
for listening, subbing. We'll see you very soon. Video Game Outsiders, out. It's late at night, and I'm watching an old E3 presentation. Man, he's cool. I bet he has a comb in his back pocket. His hair is perfect. His jacket fits him so well. I bet he was homecoming king. I don't want to Netflix and chill. All I need is my Xbox and feel. I don't need any drugs or pills. All I need is my Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. My Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. My Xbox and feel. You know, Phil, I really do think you are the best video game leader. I know you won't ever steer me wrong. Game Pass, play anywhere, cross progression, and that xCloud, I know it's gonna be great because you're behind it. Phil, I really do think you are the one. I don't want to Netflix and chill. All I need is my Xbox and feel. I don't need any drugs or pills. All I need is my Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. My Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. My Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. My Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. Xbox and feel. My Xbox and feel.